afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with another late night THFC rants. We did it again. Great performance to horrible performance to great performance. I think today's performance by Harry Kane was his best performance of the season. Great performance from him today. Great team performance all around. From a footballing side of things, yes, it's Leeds. But I'm just talking about the intensity that I saw today was impeccable. So I'm still not 100%. Had to have surgery on my face. So I'm a little chubby, and my speaking is going to be a bit off. So, but hey, can't keep me away. Got to be a warrior just like everybody else, and get out there and do a show for you guys, the folks at home. The folks at home that make that stuff possible. And sorry I haven't updated it, but with William's name on there yet. But Patreon members, patreon.com/THFCRants, Mama Coates, Wayne Bonner, Tony Go, Gogama, Alex Burton, Bosper, TV, John N. And we've also got a new one up there. His name is William. Sorry, William, I was in the hospital, so I didn't have a chance to update that. Hope you understand. Sai says, Danny Kiriakou, Tony Go, Dave Jones, Totten Tantrum, John Langford, Matthew THFC Collins. Those are some Williams Rangers. But here, the people who lead those people is Agli Kukuratos, otherwise known as Ellie. You'll find her as Ellie nowadays on YouTube. She's the four-star general of the channel, as well as Wayne Bonner, Mark Swift, Chapster 30, David Eunice, Scott M, and Williams Kilts, Matt Hayes, Tottenham Blog, The Truth Sets Free, AMZO, Dazza Hotspur, and Aaron Dubb. Those are all the people that helped us out. Also, too, you can switch over to thfcrants.com, pick yourself up some sweet merch, and help support the channel. Any little bit helps. It's a great help. But yeah, link is pinned to the chat. I don't have anybody waiting in the back. I guess it was such a win that people decide they're not gonna come on. I guess I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we got this column clown here. Apparently he thinks that if you're from America you don't know anything about football on Twitter. So I don't know what to say to him about that. But he also thinks that he's been watching Spurs twice as long as I have. Well, that would make him 32 years old, but he's half my age, and I'm not 62. So there's that as well. But let's go back to what he's complaining about. And that would be this right here. The Harry Kane tracker. 24 appearances, 8 goals, and 3 assists. Apparently, he thinks this is trying to slander or make fun of Harry Kane. No, that's simply what he has, right? So if you'd like to watch and see what this is about, you're welcome to do so. And thank you very much, Mark Swift. And we got one guest in the back. We'll bring him on here. I don't know which one it is, but it is a Brian from @Tottenham on tour. Is this Ireland or Daigle?
I'm out late, so I'm breaking my curfew, Will, and I have to come on.
Good deal, man.
How you doing, brother?
Huh? How am I doing? I'm doing good. Well, I almost died this week, but
elaborate. You can't just drop a bomb like that.
Yeah, so on Tuesday I started having some really bad headaches, and didn't know why. I mean, like, I could take 4 or 5 Aleve, which you're only supposed to take 2, and the pain would only go away for like an hour, and then it would come straight back. That wasn't good, and so I just kind of started I just I'll tough it out, blah blah blah. Start taking showers, like 4 or 5 showers a day, because the hot water helped. And then half my face went numb.
Fucking hell.
And apparently I had a cyst under one of my molars, and it was pressing on a nerve ending, and that's why my face went numb. But I thought I had a stroke.
Jesus.
But the doctor said it had been there for a while, and that because when I went to get it checked, they were going to make me have at first they were going to have me schedule me for next week to have the tooth removed. But when they saw the size of it, they was like, we got to get this out now. Otherwise, this could get in your bones and you could die from sepsis within a couple of days.
Well,
So,
I wish you a very, very, very speedy recovery, my man.
yeah. So this whole side of my face has been destroyed because they were in there. And then they were trying to do it. They had to, because I wasn't at a because it was such an emergency. All I could have was local anesthesia, so I was awake the whole time. They were pounding those hammers on my face. So
yeah, that's not pleasing. I've had a couple of procedures where I've been under local, and it's not nice.
Yeah,
it's not
I
nice.
mean, they had so normally they would just pull it, but they couldn't. It broke, and so they had to cut all my gums up. So those back. So I have like 15 stitches in my gums.
Jesus Christ. Well, all I can say now, let's get this back to Tottenham and not the worry of your face. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, this time next week, or it's Sunday here now, so I'm flying home in a week's time. So I'll be able to come on the show a lot more often again because I won't be on a curfew.
Yeah, I saw that on We Are Tottenham TV today earlier. Said
yeah,
that
I fly home Sunday 10:11 my time here, and I will be back in Toronto early Sunday afternoon.
Good deal, man. We look forward to having you back over here on this side of the planet. Apparently, people like Colin here. They think that if you're from over here, you don't know anything about football.
What's he said? I can't see it because I'm on my phone. It's very small. What's he said?
He hasn't said anything here in the comments, but on Twitter, he said that Americans only don't know anything about football, and that we shouldn't watch EPL. We should watch MLS. And he called me a Yank. So
okay, so
you can do one.
Surely you're going to learn more watching the EPL than watching MLS. And yeah, it's a game for everyone. I mean, I live in Canada, but I'm English. Does that mean that when I come over the pond, I need to stop watching my hometown or my home country's league? That's confusing.
You have the right accent, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, good game today, mate, wasn't it?
It was a good game. It was a really good game today. Where was this team on Wednesday? That's what I want to know.
Well, mate, do you know what as well? This is the thing. I was saying it on We Are Tottenham TV, and let's see what you'd say to this. This game, and see what the people in the chat say. This game, do you reckon that was the performance because it was solely A, Antonio Conte setting a fire up their arse, and they were going to put in a performance, or B, it's Leeds and their style of football and the way they've been playing completely suited what we were doing, so we can always be open and expansive, and because Leeds are obviously going to play that way against us? Or do you reckon it was a combination of both?
I mean, I think first of all, it was Leeds, right? I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah.
The second thing, though, is I do think, because even though it was Leeds, I mean, we're talking Burnley, who are only a few points higher than Leeds on the table, right?
Oh yeah, but what the thing is, what you got to remember, what I'm trying to say with this, Will, is Burnley just play low block, and will try to just close us down, and they know that's how to stop Tottenham. Whereas Leeds came into this knowing whenever they play teams, but especially us, just frustrate them, play the low block, you'll stop them, or they have to figure it out. But Leeds came, and we knew Leeds were going to play this way. They just don't change no matter who they're playing. So I reckon, obviously, I think we'd be able to tell more if we don't play Borough or Everton at home, because they will play. Oh no, Everton under Lampard will come out. But you know what I mean? It's a team that we're always going to play on the front foot and try to attack, as opposed to a low block.
Yeah, I mean that does play into our hands, right? Any team that tries to press us, but there are some teams that, like Southampton, tried to press us, and we had a hard time with them. Right?
Yeah.
So I was talking more about the intensity, right? Like the amount of the heart and the passion to win those 50-50s, to be the first to the ball, just the fire in the belly. That's kind of the first time this season that I've really seen it that spread across the entire team. And so for me, that was the difference, because of Burnley, we had opportunities and chances, but it just didn't seem like there was any intensity. Right? It was just slow, lazy.
But Burnley was awful. I mean, obviously, I was at the Man City game with Ben and Simeon, and that was just unbelievable. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a very, very good victory or performance from every single player on the pitch, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was, I mean, no one can deny Harry Kane was man of the match today on that one for sure. Just his overall play. Like, I thought today he looked better as a whole than he did against City.
Breathtaking today. Breathtakingly good. I mean, that pass was just absolutely spot bang on the money, and congratulations to Kane and Son for obviously setting a Premier League record.
Yep.
And it's hopefully it's onwards and upwards. But I haven't really spoken to you on stream, or actually I haven't spoken to you for, which is bound on us for personally as well. But obviously without knowing of what was going on with you health wise, what did you make of Conte after Burnley? What side of the fence are you sitting on?
I'm done with blaming managers at Tottenham Hotspur. First of all, everything he said was true.
Correct.
Except for the part of maybe I'm not good enough. If you're not good enough, my friend, no one is. That's the way I think. But I'm done with it with the manager thing. Like with Jose, I wasn't a big Jose out guy either. In fact, I didn't even like Jose to begin with. But when I started to watch the team and look at the team, and this is the thing that really bothers me. This is kind of where this Column guy rolls into, right? It's like they have because, like, I don't know if you remember, but you were on the show with Dietrich's Kane when we set this whole Kane tracker thing up.
Yes,
right?
I think that was the last time I came on before I went back. I came back here.
Yeah, and it was like we're basically all the Kane tracker was to say is at what point, what's the cutoff before we start having the conversation, right? We're not even having the conversation yet. At what point do we have the conversation? And Dietrich said 10, and it was because every time. Because it was there in that first 14 weeks of the season where he only had one goal, where it was like everybody kept moving the goalpost. First it was, he's going to do it. Oh, now it's 15. Okay, 10, 5, 4, 3, So that's the whole point of the Kane tracker isn't a dig at Harry Kane. It's to hold the wishy-washy fans who will support people regardless of their form, right? Not be honest with a particular player's form. Because there's nothing wrong or unfair about saying Harry Kane had a poor first half of the season, because that's just the facts, right? I mean, that's not taking a dig at him. It's just true. So this whole Kane tracker. So I said, okay, I'm going to hold you to that, right? And he still hasn't reached that 10 yet. And that was only the point where we started having a conversation about selling him, right? So
I know how you're feeling in regards to the Harry Kane. Have you seen? So obviously I went to Man City. And I did the next day with Simeon in the studio, and we did our player ratings. And I know people have heard me talking about Son, and I haven't been bad-mouthing Son. I gave Son an 8. I gave Son an 8, which is still against Man City, which is a great score still. But the only reason I didn't give him a 9 is because there's just something about it since he's come back where, and I do you know what, I take it totally that he's coming back from a big hamstring injury, so you may not want to open. There's been times when he's been cutting in rather than normally someone run it past and bury people with pace. And he's probably nervous that he doesn't want to pull too far and stretch his hamstring and do that, because it's an injury that can be very reoccurrent. And also a couple of his shots have been straight at the goalkeeper. The rest of his play's been great. So I gave him an 8. The amount of abuse I got in the comments.
Well, yeah. I mean,
not in the live feed, like in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
And then I've got to tell you about the best comment I got. I mean, this is the I had someone commented and said that Jew is a racist. I was like, how racist do you want to be? All I did was give Son an 8, and then you put a comment, that Jew is a racist. I was like, good on you, my friend. Good on you.
But I mean, there is so the difference. I think the difference with Son is, and while I don't necessarily agree with an 8 necessarily for City, but I would have gone more for a 9. But
okay, fair.
But today I thought he was trying too hard.
I'm the other way around.
Yeah, no. Today, the first half, he was pushing it more than he could have. The second half, he seemed to loosen up quite a bit. But the first half, I think when he saw Son's the kind of player that he wants to get. He's hungry for goals, and I think right now, he wants to finish the season with the most goals in the league. I think he set that as a personal target for himself because the way he's trying, because of how successful he was at the first half of the season, and even now, because like a lot of people have said that, like since he's come back, he just doesn't look the same. Well, I mean, his per 90 numbers are higher than they were last season, so that's really not the case as far as like what he's doing off the ball. Because I don't think people realize like today he won like 4 out of 5 ground duels.
Yeah, I mean, he had he had a good performance.
9 out of 7 ground duels he won.
You've got to look at it as well. The perfect person I used when you talk about a hamstring injury back in the day was Michael Owen.
Yeah.
Once Michael Owen started getting hamstring injuries, they're ones that can reoccur very, very easily. And it can be a huge issue. So I get you. And the reason I gave him an 8, which, like I said, is still a very good mark. Let's face it. Doesn't matter who you give someone an 8 out of 10. It's a very good, strong mark.
Yeah.
It's because of the very high standards, not only he has set himself, but that we all have of him.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of and I think you just kind of caught it on the backside. There's been a lot of Twitter hate on Son recently.
Yeah, well, that's just ridiculous.
Look at my Twitter. I've been retweeting a lot of the fools, and they were saying, sell him. He's bench him, sell him, cash him money now. He's done. He's finished.
Yeah, it's just silliness.
And I'm like, you do realize he's the leading assister and leading scorer for the squad right now in the league, and you're telling us sell him, and like that would be saying he's literally on form. He's on form, believe it or not, on form with having the best season he's ever had in a Spurs shirt, right? And you're saying sell him. That would be like me saying sell Harry Kane last season, right? Because he didn't score the most goals that he'd ever scored last season, right? He only scored like 20-something goals last season, right? With 12 assists.
Yeah.
And he scored like 30 in seasons before in the league, right? So, but the way that Harry Kane played last season was like his all-around play was some of the best Harry Kane we've ever seen, right? So, I mean, it'd be like me saying, sell Harry Kane before all of the summer drama that happened. But yeah, just pretty silly stuff.
There is that, and Will, I have some bad news for you. I'm gonna have to let you go because I'm with Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, Grant, Arthur from Shelfside Spurs, and he's giving me a lift home, and we're literally approaching my house. So we all know at the moment I'm on my. I don't think they'd really enjoy it. 20 to 2 in the morning, and I go, "Hey, Will," and everyone in the chat. My parents will wake up, and you may hear me getting slapped. So yeah, I don't really fancy that. So
all good, man.
What I will say. I will obviously next week when I'm back. So we play. I come back on the Sunday. We play Everton on the Monday. And if I honestly think I say to my wife, "Listen, darling, I know I haven't seen you for a month and 2 months and a half, but Will's just about to go live after the Everton game." I don't think that will be happening somehow. So hopefully after the next game, which I think is United, I will 100% be on the stream. But I'll be giving my review. But I wish you a speedy recovery. I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you.
I don't know how many people
enough drugs to get by, so
that's always a good way then, mate. But yeah, everyone in the chat, 'cause I can't see whilst I'm on the phone. Hope you all have a great weekend. I was just about to do my finger things when I say it, but I've got my camera off, so it doesn't really matter. But I will say my famous 2 words, and as always, leave you out.
Leave you out. Take it easy, Brian. Since you're on your phone, do you need me to check you out? We'll go ahead and do that. But if anybody else wants to join the show, the lines are open. The stuff is pinned to the top of the chat. Very quiet today, Saturday night. I guess it's because the game was so early. People have kind of gone on and moved on about their day. Let's look at some of the comments. You get your comments in here, and no worries, Ellie. I appreciate it. Don't worry about it. Not a problem. In fact, it only charges you, I think, once a month. So if you just redo it or whatever, there won't even be a break in it. So I would have never even known. But thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Jordy was great today. I do want to kind of bring in a new segment of the show. Like I said, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If anybody wants to join the show, you're welcome to do so. I do want to do a little bit of a player ratings, and I want to kind of compare the eye test to the stat test. We're going to see eye test versus stat test. So we're going to be comparing Alistair Gould's eye test player ratings versus SofaScore's statistical ones, and then we just want to see how they play out, right? And which one you can see my lip is a little bit weird. That's because this whole side of my face is still numb. But that's all right. Hopefully it'll be good to go tomorrow or later on this week, man. I'm supposed to go to Atlanta United game tomorrow. And hopefully I'm feeling well enough to do that. But yeah, but let's get ready to. Cody Mack says SofaScore play ratings are borderline useless. I don't necessarily think they are borderline useless. I actually think they're pretty accurate. Similar to like who scored or stuff like that. I don't think they're necessarily borderline useless. But let's pull up Alistair Gould's player ratings here. And take a look at those. See what he had to say about what players were going to do or what they did. Talking about Thiago's here. Welcome to the show for the first time. Talking about Thiago. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Saturday night, Carnival in Brazil, party, sun, and 3 points in the bag.
3 points are in the bag. That is true. That is correct. So what I'm gonna bring this up behind us, and let me see here. There's gonna be some ads and stuff, man. Football London's got like they like max out the ads.
They do. It's annoying.
So let's share this up in here. I'm gonna put it behind us, not next to us, and then let me get the Kane track out of the way so people can see our faces. But so Hugo Lloris gave him a 5. The eye test. Did you think Hugo was a 5 today?
He didn't have to do much, to be honest, and I think his rating will go down because of that mistake when we almost conceded. I'd say 5 is fair because he didn't have to do any difficult saves, really. I think defensively we were quite solid. I can't remember much that he had to do.
Yeah, 5 I think is a bit harsh. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can edit this mid thing. I can't. I messed up. I'm just gonna have to share the screen. That way I can flip back and forth. We'll share the whole screen. That way I can flip it back and forth between the two. So 5 for Hugo, but over here on SofaScore, 7.1 for Hugo on the day. 2 saves, 1 run out, successful run out, high claim, 2 saves from inside the box. Only one error that led to the shot. 88% passing range, 5 out of 3 long balls completed, 1 clearance. So other than his one mistake, that was really the only thing. So I didn't think that one mistake was worth a 5.
No, definitely no. But in the ratings, people will play down. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Yeah, we have to stop this narrative of he makes a mistake only once in a year. It's happened like 3 games in a row already." But for me, 5 isn't that harsh because he didn't have to do much. Maybe keeping a clean sheet would help bringing it up, but I'd say
I can do
5 and
that.
a half.
I can make my own. I don't know how would I do that you guys wouldn't know that I cheated. You'd have to take my word for it unless I do it live on camera, like right after the game or something. Do you guys stream? Who streams right after the match? Like, I mean, like right after. Mari used to do it. Do you still do it, Mari? Are you watching? I don't know if you're watching or not, but I could do that. But Alistair Gold is Alistair Gold. We do not respect Alistair Gold's opinion. I mean, most people would take his player ratings over mine.
Yeah,
that's just mine.
I mean, but he's not perfect. I mean, sometimes he can give a rating to a player that is not fair. Sometimes
right, it's biased. That's what I'm saying. The eye test is always biased. There's always a bias to it, right?
Yeah.
It can rate players higher than they should be, and it can also rate players lower than they should be. And the statistics, which is what SofaScore ratings come from, are just based off stats. So if you're a stat patter, then you're going to get a high score. But then I think you could use the eye test to say, okay, yeah, this guy didn't do anything all day and he's just padded the stats because he played it back all the time. Like you can use the eye test to invalidate statistics, and you can use statistics to invalidate the eye test, right? One doesn't have any other weight over the other. It's more of a
one
both ends is what I say. Yeah, they balance each other out, the yin and the yang, as I always say. But going on to the next player over here on that, we've got Christian Romero as a 7. And I thought Christian Romero was better than a 7.
Oh, he was. He was a 9.5 for me. It wasn't perfect, but the anticipation to lots of balls and the ability to drive forward, which Davies and Dyer don't have all the time, but he has going forward and helping Doherty while he goes forward, and he's there to be best an option. For me, Romero was a 9 at least.
Yeah, 9. I don't know about 9 for me, but about an 8 probably. I thought he had a really good game. I thought he was more involved in the match today than Eric Dyer was. Like 7.5 for Dyer, 8 for Romero. For me, that would be fine. But and I haven't looked at SofaScore's things for today. I just pulled it up now. So let's take a look here at what they said. 7.4. So they got Ben Davies being the number 1 center back on the day. But like I said, Ben Davies very well could have been the number 1 center back on the day. But my bias against Ben Davies is always going to have me rate him lower than what he did, right?
Yeah.
But he was about a good, 0.2 higher than Eric Dyer, but 7.4 on the day. Looking at his stats today, 79 touches. That's a lot of touches. He only lost possession 5 times, so he's consistent with holding that. 4 out of 5 ground duels, 1.
For me, one of the most impressive stats is that he finishes the game with only 1 foul when he's a very aggressive guy.
Yeah.
He gets a lot out of his position to intercept a pass or to anticipate the opponent, and he only finished with 1 foul. That's quality. If Ben Davies would do that, he wouldn't have finished the game. So
yeah, and then too, I mean, like the passing accuracy, because I mean he's a center back, so those are progressive passes, right? I mean, unless he's passing it back to Hugo Lloris, and unless he did that 50 times, you know what I'm saying? The passing accuracy, 92%, is high. It's acceptable. I didn't see any mistakes necessarily, so I think Alistair Gold says that he lost Sturrock for an early Leeds free kick, but the header flashed wide. I'm not sure he really lost him. I think he just kind of came unmarked, but yeah. But Eric Dyer 7. That one for me would have been fine. 7.5 for me for Dyer today.
Sure, I would agree. 7 is a fair rating for Dyer.
Yeah, and then Ben Davies, he got a kind of almost matched right along with SofaScore. He gave Ben Davies an 8 today. Said work hard down the left to provide cover behind Session and made crucial sliding block to rescue Lloris, which elevates his score above his fellow center backs to 8. Which I get that. That saved us a goal. That kept the clean sheet. That one slide. So I see that.
Yeah, he deserves that.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, but see, that's my thing. My bias against Ben Davies, I'm always going to rate him lower than he probably should have done, right? Because I have a bias.
Mine is
I don't like
Harry Winks.
that's your bias.
Yeah.
And then Matt Doherty 8 today. I think 8 is well deserved. I think they had him as an 8 on SofaScore as well. Yeah, 8.3.
Yeah, that's good.
Easily his best performance of the season. 1 goal, 1 assist. Not just his goals and assists, those which were great, by the way. Just his play in general, the key passes that he created, his crosses, long balls, shots on target, his play, ground duels. 1 out of 2, 100% of his aerial duels. Only lost the ball 8 times. Like, you didn't give the ball away. Like, he's pretty clinical today. Clearances, block shots, interceptions. Yeah. He had a really good match today. And it was probably one of the best performances I've seen out of a right back this season. So, who'd have thought Matt Doherty was going to come from? But
it was the best. It was the best. To put Emerson's performances all put together, it's not even close.
Yeah. But which is good to see. I just like to see that happen more often. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But next person on the list is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And says picked out Kane with a lovely chip pass from Tottenham's third goal. Used the ball well when Spurs broke and worked hard in front of the back three. Gives them an 8. 7.5 for me, I think, is probably a little more accurate.
Yeah. He isn't great on the ball.
8. It's similar.
He wasn't great on the ball sometimes. The pass to Kane was beautiful, but for me, what stood out the most from Pierre was how many times he was able to recover possession for us. Which is
he did. He had he was kind of back his old self, like his Jose Mourinho self in the midfield. I thought he was a lot more. I saw him getting tied in with people, going in on people, getting stuck in, getting a foot in, taking the ball away from players. And it was just good to see. I mean, 89% passing accuracy, 1 key pass, 1 big chance created, 7 out of 5 long balls. I mean, maybe it was an 8 performance. Maybe I think an 8's fair, looking at the statistics. See, like, watching the game for me, because, he had that 1 assist, but maybe because the forward players were so much more dynamic, I probably wouldn't have given him, because I wasn't watching him as carefully, you know what I mean? Or as excited about his performance. I probably would have given him maybe an 8 is a fair score.
I mean, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 3 tackles. That's 7 times he.
Yeah.
7 times he did very good defending for us.
Yeah, 5 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 3 tackles. That's a lot of times he won the ball back for us. Or at least stop their progression. Then we got Harry Winks. He said played a perfectly weighted ball into the pass to Session and build up to Tottenham's opening goal. A good showing for the midfielder against a high energy Lidsfield, an 8. Harry Winks for me, I think this one's maybe a little bit closer. I don't think he was as good as Højbjerg today, but he wasn't bad by any means. So I think a 7 is probably a fair rating. 91% passing accuracy, 2 key passes, 4 out of 3 long balls completed, 1 ground duel. So you can see he didn't win the ball back in midfield as much as Højbjerg, but he didn't lose the ball a lot today. And see, this is normally the number right here, possessions lost. That's normally the number that Winks struggles with, right?
Yeah.
So
I think Højbjerg lost possession more. I think it was.
I think
9.
one more time. Yeah, just
Yeah.
one more time. That's trivial in a match, unless it like leads to a goal or something. But clearances and his block shot, interception, and his tackles, right, just weren't as significant as either. So I would say it would be a little unfair to Højbjerg to give Winks the same rating.
For me,
go ahead.
Winks. What pisses me off with Winks is his off-ball movement. It's just terrible. Sometimes he just doesn't know where to be. He's too close to Højbjerg and doesn't give another option for a pass or defending. He's just running around and he doesn't know where to go. It happened a few times today, so you can't give the same rating for Højbjerg and Winks. There's no way you say both were just as good as the other one.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I just don't think Harry Winks. Like, he wasn't horrible today. I mean, there were some moments where he was a little bit shaky, but he wasn't horrible. And but I definitely wouldn't say that he was as impactful in the squad as Højbjerg to give him the same rating. Ryan Sessegnon is the next one on the list. Again, with an 8. I thought Ryan played well today. I think an 8 is a little high. I would have probably. My seeing eye test, I probably would have given him more like a 7.
Yeah.
But so score has him at 7.6. Let's take a look at his numbers. 28 touches, and maybe that's why I would have given him a little bit lower score because he didn't really get on the ball that much. 28 touches is pretty low for a system that works and creates through the wings. But
11 passes only? Wow, that's low.
Yeah, only 11 passes. 2 of those were key passes, so the ones that he made were good. They led to a shooting opportunity. Crosses 3. He only connected with one of those. Only one of his long balls connected. He created 1 big chance. I think that was the Kane goal. And then the shots on target. Wasn't
one
shot on that one shot on tie was a little high. Off target 1. When he probably should have passed the sun on that one. Ground duels defensively, though, possession-wise, he kept possession fairly well. Ground duels pretty decent, about 50%. 2 interceptions, 1 tackle. So for me, he just seemed a little bit less. So, I mean, 7.6 comes from the assist, right? That's going to give you a big bump statistically. So I'd go with a 7 probably personally myself. But Alistair Gold giving him an 8. I think that there's a little bit of homegrown bias in that player rating there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What do you think about Sessegnon?
Yeah, 7.5 for me is also fair. There was one chance, I think it was Doherty who crossed the ball and he didn't get to the end of that. He should have scored that goal when he almost injured himself hitting the post. He still doesn't look that good on possession on the ball, but since Antonio Conte arrived, it was one of the best left wing back performances we've had. And it's interesting because I don't know if Conte has really dropped Reguilon or because I really thought Reguilon would start today.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised too that maybe he's still just not at it. Maybe he's not running quick enough or just doesn't have the physical fitness after being sick for a while. I don't know. Do I need to take him out of my fantasy team? And that's what messed me up is I was I was actually having surgery during the FPL deadline. I didn't get to update my team this week, so I'm gonna be screwed. But that's okay.
My FPL, I gave up. I put Salah. When I put Salah, he doesn't score, and then I take him out, and then he scores a hat trick. FPL hates me.
You just gotta leave Salah in all the time, man. He's one of those things you just leave. You just leave and go.
Yeah.
With FPL, you gotta learn to stay, right? You gotta learn to keep your guys for a while.
I kept him for a long time, and then I said, okay, let's change a little bit. He scores. I put him on the team. He doesn't score. I take him off. He scores again. I said, okay, you stay away from me. I hate you. But I put Kulusevski though for the City game.
I need to put Kulusevski on because he's cheap, and he's seemed to be on fire. So he seemed to got some stuff about him, but on to Kulusevski, and I think this is low for me. I probably would have given him a 9. I didn't see anything he did wrong. An 8. Combined with Doherty before beating some weak Leeds challenges and then rifling home a low shot inside the near post to make it 2 goals in 3 starts. Was always busy and looking to get into the box. Had another 2 low shots in the second half, 1 saved, and the other blocked for a goal. Looks like a real prospect at just 21. I mean, I said before the window even shut, I said that Bentancur and Kulusevski are good players. Some people were disappointed or whatever. And even after watching their first performance, I said he's probably going to need about 5 or 6 games to bed in. And I think he's getting there now. Like today, I thought his performance today was better than it was against City. Lesser competition. So, I mean, that could be expected. But,
But we had more of the ball. Against City, as much as the performance was good, we didn't hit them in the counter attack, but at the same time we didn't have much of the ball. Against Leeds, I think we had more of the possession. It was not only straightforward attack. We had to build the play a little bit more. For example, his goal, he dribbled past like 3-4 players before he finished. So,
but for me too, it's also his hold up play. I mean, I saw him holding up the ball a lot too in midfield today.
Yeah, he's good in that. Yeah.
Yeah, they played the ball into him and him being able to hold it up, turn, muscle people off. And this is what I'm talking about. The dude's only a few months older than Brian Hill. And there's a huge difference in impact. Right. And I know people don't like the Brian Hill stuff, but like Barnabas just put in a comment, Brian Hill, Messi, which is this dumb comparing Brian Hill to Messi, is balling in Spain. Messi was balling at the age of 17, right? In the first division. So let's not do that. But Kulusevski is far more a better player, more impactful player for our first 11 than Brian Hill is, and they're only a few months apart in age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe 6-7 months apart. That's it.
He has that cutting edge to do something by himself and finish and score, which Lucas, for example, doesn't have. Because Lucas, he just thinks, but his brain works much faster than his legs, and then he just loses the ball. Or Bergwijn, who is going to finish, and he just puts it out of the stadium. He looks more composed on the ball in front of the goal. There was one chance he didn't score. Meslier saved his shot, but it was very nice. Very low, driven, strong, powerful finish. I like him. I really like him. I didn't expect him to be so comfortable this early, but I had good expectations for him, and I'm gladly surprised. And hopefully he just gets better, and it's not just like another Bergwijn. He's gonna go 1 year without scoring a goal for us.
Well, he scored 2 in 2 games, so I mean, or 2 in 3 games, so that's pretty good. I think he's starting to get now. Do I expect him to score, as much as like Son and Kane a season?
No.
Probably not for a while, maybe in a couple years. But like if you look at I kind of see him being a little bit like a Son. So, maybe 5 or 6 goals this season, and maybe get close to 10 the next season, and then You know, if he can contribute 12 goals, 10 to 12 goals a season, that would be amazing. You know what I mean? We don't have another player that scores 10 to 12 goals a season.
If he can get close to the numbers that Gareth Bale had last season for us,
yeah,
absolutely. But I think it would be better if he scored in more games, because Bale had lots of games that he scored twice, then he had a hat trick in 2 games. So in the end, he just scored in like 5 games, and
yeah, but I mean, those goals they do help though.
Yeah,
just
they
all
do.
it's like even goal differential. I think it could come down to that. I think top 4 could come down to goal differential this season. So it's going to hurt us. That's one thing that's going to hurt us, is the fact that we don't have any goal differential. Although today's win helped.
United drew today. I watched the game.
Yep.
They lost so many chances.
They're like, people said that they were gonna, win all of these games. I said, no, man, they're gonna draw a lot of these. Their team isn't that good. So Harry Kane, he gave him a 9. I would probably give him a 9.5 or a 10 today. I thought Harry Kane's game today was better than he played against City. Like, overall, actually, what he did on the pitch. If you're adding in the level of competition, maybe he got a boost against City for that. But I'm talking about just what he did on the pitch, what he accomplished. I thought he was better today than he was against City. And
maybe more complete because he got the assist.
Yeah, assist and a goal. And he also, too, just like his hold-up play today was really good. And then Son, I think Son, going forward, attacking-wise, struggled a little bit. Yeah, I just said that. Why would I not say that? I always give Harry Kane the respect he deserves. Always. I think you can clip things now on YouTube. If you look at the top of the chat, there should be a little clip bar, and you can actually clip it. Maybe my channel's not big enough to have that. I don't know. I'll have to look on YouTube.
Do you think Kane?
I'm not saying clip.
Will get to the level he was last season, or maybe it's too much of a stretch to say he's gonna go back to Brian Kane under Jose?
Well, I hope so, man, because he needs to, dude. Like, he's right now, even though he's been in really good form the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, he's still having the worst season he's ever had in a Spurs shirt. So he's got a lot of work to make up for his first half of the season, which is like 14 games with 1 goal, right? So,
how many goals does he have? He's 8.
8. Harry Kane tracker for Dietrich, since he's in the chat now. 8 goals, 3 assists, and 24 appearances, that's horrible for Harry Kane standards. But his form hopefully with the way his form's been, hopefully he go on a run. I mean, if he scores, we've got 10 games left, right? Ish. We still got some games in hand, but so about 12, I think. Maybe 13. I don't remember. But so he's played 1 of us. That means we played 25. So that means we have 13 games left. So he's got 13 games left. So if he gets a goal in every game, it's going to put him at 21, which is about his averages, right? 20 is about his average. Yeah, it's possible, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to score every game.
I mean, saying that 21 goals would be difficult, how much would you say is a fair amount for him? I'd say. So I predicted.
16. So if you just look at his XG and XA numbers, it tells you 11. If you look at his shots, so the number of shots he's taking, and the XG off of those shots, that says 16. And I think right now, with the way his form's looking, 16 is probably looking. If his current form stays, 16 is looking at like the number that he's going to hit this season, which would just have been it still would be, I think, his worst season since he started being the starter striker. Other than his first season, where he only played like 5 or 6 games. It would still be one of his worst seasons in Spurs shirt. But at least with 16 goals, you could say, hey, it was just a bad year, had a bad start, finished strong. We can have confidence going into next season. You know what I mean? So hopefully it continues.
Yeah, 16 is fair. I would be happy if he got 16, given how he started the season. Because honestly, at some point, I thought he was going to finish the season with like 2 goals, 1 assist, and that was it.
Yeah, Cody Mack says he's got 7 goals and 3 assists in his last 11 games. I thought because he had 1 goal and 1 assist in week 12, and he's only got 3 assists now.
Yeah, he got an assist against Newcastle. So the Sonny goal.
Yes, I don't know if those numbers are 100% right, unless his first goal was like way back and he just had 1 goal and no assists. But I don't remember.
I think his first
Cody
goal
does.
against Newcastle. The little chip over the goalkeeper.
Yeah. But in his last 11 games, he scored 7 goals and 3 assists. I mean, that's good. Because in his first 12, he scored 1 goal, right? So that's good. So over his next 11, if he scores another 7, that's going to put him at close to that's 15, right? So 15, 16. Let's bring Kieran into the show with us. He can help us with the last one.
Yo,
Kieran,
yo.
what's going on?
What's going on, guys? Good win today, and another great day. Another great day to be a Decky Kulusevski super fan. Once again, to all the haters, I told you so. This dude's going to be a superstar.
I think they were just more mad at the window, and that's why they were taking it out on Bender and Kulusevski.
I mean, I will say that is one area where I'm sure a lot of people could tell me I told you so, because I think I was excited about Kulusevski, and I knew that, Bentancur would. I think I was probably a little too positive about the window. But I was really happy. I was really excited about Kulusevski and Bentancur, and I was so happy to see Ndombele, Lo Celso, and Dele go out the door that I didn't. I guess I don't know. I kind of overrated
Let's do the last one
it.
here. Let's do the last one here. Mr. Song Heung-min, Alistair Gold gives him an 8. SofaScore gives him an 8. Right on the money. I thought today, the first half, Son going forward, not his midfield play or off the ball play or his defensive play was, I thought was really good. In fact, the numbers here are like crazy insane. But his going forward, he was just trying too hard. It's like he was trying to force scoring goals. It was like he saw the goal party that was going on in the first half and he wanted to play too. Like he wanted to get involved in that. And I think he was just trying to kind of force it a bit. And so it just wasn't falling for him. He did have the most shots on target out of any of the front 3. But the shots, they were just kind of off. It was like that one shot that he had when he dribbled through 2 or 3 players and he took that shot. It's just like he just kind of scuffed it, right? Hit it a little bit on top of the ball. But he had 1 goal. But the touch, people were saying his touch is off. That touch off that Kane pass, without that touch, the way it was I mean, that was a world-class touch. It without even slowing down, ball off the chest, right in the stride, boom, put it away. That was the son of last season, the clinicalness of him last season. But the first half, he struggled with that. He did have 4 shots on target, none off target, none blocked. 5 out of 4 successful dribbles. I thought he was taking on players today. I thought he was being brave and taking players on, which is what we want to see.
Yeah.
And then big chance to miss is 1. That's that one where he broke through past the back line and kicked it right at the keeper. 63 touches, quite a bit for a forward. 91% passing accuracy. 1 key pass. 5 crosses. Most of those are come from from his corners probably. But look at the ground duels won, man. More than most of our defenders. 7 out of 9 ground duels won today. His work defensively today was amazing.
And that's extremely impressive because, I mean, obviously, being a forward, being an attacker, a winger, we don't really think of Son for his defensive work. We know he works hard and he tracks back, but to see him actually win that many duels in a game, that's not just hard work. That's also...
Yeah, I think people. That's what I think. I think people
Quality.
miss, especially this season, when they said that that Kane is or that Son is a little bit off form. They've just been neglecting all the stuff he does off the ball. It's just because he's not dribbling through from our box to their box and scoring. You know, getting Puskas awards is the reason why people are giving him crap. And he's been far more. His defensive stats have been way up this season compared to last season. And that's why when people look at Sun Sofa scores and they're high as they are, they're like, nah, man, Sofa score's worthless. Well, it's because he's getting a lot of extra points for a lot of the defensive work that you've never seen Sun do before. So you can't say that just because his all-around game is improving, that he's not improving as a player just because he may not be as good going forward as you expect him to be. He had 1 clearance, 1 block shot, and 2 interceptions. And I saw him dropping deep a lot. I saw him deeper than Kane most of the time today. So,
I think people need to realize last season was an incredible season for Son and Kane. But particularly talking about Son, I mean, that was such an amazing record-breaking season. You can't expect that kind of performance week after week from a player, even the best players in the world.
Oh, I mean, he didn't even. I agree because he didn't even do it all season last season. It was only the first 6-7 games that he did it.
Exactly.
And then his numbers went. You know what I mean? And
I don't know.
His per 90 numbers. His per 90 numbers this season are higher than they were last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and that's the thing. I think you see a more it's funny because people say he's been off the boil and this and that. I think it's actually the opposite. I think he was streakier last season because when he was on, it was so noticeable. It was, I mean, when he was on, it was, you know, it was undeniable. But when he was off, he was completely gone. As where this season, he seemed to have kind of spread his quality out across his performances more, which means he's actually been more consistent. There's less of the high highs, but there's also less of the low lows. And I think, you know, that's better for the team ultimately.
Well, I think in the past too, he's been a little purple patchy. You know, that's one thing. That's one name that's always been attached to Son is purple patchy, right? But that's what's bothered me this season is that I thought that he's been a lot more consistent this season than.
I mean, I think that's just a ridiculous thing to paint a player of his quality with anyway, because how many of the best players in the world, even the best players in the world, how many of them are excellent week in, week out? There's very few. There's very few. Yeah, like Mo Salah, Robert Lewandowski with asterisk because he plays for Bayern in the Bundesliga. You know, I mean, you can't say it about Ronaldo or Messi anymore, or certainly not Neymar. Not even Mbappe, and you know these are the best players in the world.
Very streaky.
Yeah, so I mean, that whole purple patch thing. I mean, that's just honestly, I think a lot of times it's coming from people who have biases against Spurs. They don't want to credit Son because they don't like Spurs.
Yeah,
or they're Spurs fans who just are unrealistic and expect him to be perfect game in, game out.
Cody thinks that it's a minute few. It's a few people that have this agenda against Son, and it's not really a few, man. I hear people talking about it all the time. I mean, like they just have this expectation in their head. But Harry Kane gets a free pass. Like, you know, it's like I get a guy like Cullum here comes in my chat or it comes onto my Twitter page, right, and ats me because I have a Harry Kane Prem tracker. It says that I have some weird agenda where I'm trying to slander. Slander means to say something that's not true, right? Like defamation means you're saying something that's not true that damages someone. Okay. it's true that Harry Kane has 8 goals and 3 assists this season, right? This isn't a slander. That's the fact, right? And if the facts to you look bad, well, then maybe it's because they're bad. And if they're bad, the person who did them is the one who's playing badly. Now, Harry Kane has improved a lot, a ton, night and day since the first half of the season. But if you're looking at it as a season as a whole, he has not been a Harry Kane that we've ever seen before. Right? I'm just saying. Right? It's just.
And Scott M commented saying that he's been one of the most criticized players all season. I see no free pass for him at all. Scott, I feel like that's mostly the media, though. More like the British media or in general the football media. I mean, among Spurs fans, ever since Conte came in and it was obvious that he's picked his tools back up and he wants to play for Spurs again, Spurs fans have laid off him because it's not like he hasn't had poor matches under Conte. You know, I think Spurs fans were pretty hard on him at the beginning of the season under Nuno because it was obvious he was downing tools. But ever since Conte came in, he hasn't been getting a lot of criticism at all from Spurs fans. And that's what we're talking about. I mean, obviously the media criticizes Harry Kane big time because he's England
we didn't even get a lot of. We didn't even get a lot of.
So.
But in Scott, I don't think he's been the most criticized. By who? By me, maybe. But it does. I haven't given him a free pass, but everybody else. But everybody else has completely washed over Harry Kane's. I mean, how many debates have we had on here where people, when he had 1 goal and 1 assist, were saying he's going to score 20 goals this season. I mean, there's people that haven't called him out or said anything. You get angry when people parade Son struggles, but then parade Kane struggles and wonder why there's blowback. It's funny. Only when Son's struggles aren't accurate. Like, I don't have a problem parading Son's struggles when they're accurate.
So it's a matter of relativity, isn't it? Because Harry Kane struggles this season relative to every previous Harry Kane season. It's a big difference. It's a massive gap. Son, even in the few games Son hasn't been very good, it's not really a big gap between his previous seasons at Tottenham. So that's what it's about. It's about the relative difference in performances. And that gap for Kane is much, much wider than Son. So for people to be criticizing Son at the rate they are doesn't really make sense unless you're also criticizing Kane twice as much as you are Son.
Right. So
because that's how big the difference is.
But I'm talking about this patch here. People have said since he's come back, right? So that's this patch. Oh, wait, no. It's a different place. So since he's come back from injury, that's this run here. And people said he was dog shit. He's been dog shit when he's getting 7.6, 8.2, 7.4. He says Son's dog shit. Okay. See, this is what I'm getting mad about, right? That he has, in this dog shit run of form, he has 2 goals and 1 assist, right? Or 2 goals and 2 assists, I think. So since he's come back from injury, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists, and people said he's dog shit. Okay, that's what makes me bad. I have not said Harry Kane's been dog shit over the last. I watch every show back. I have praised Harry Kane individual performance in that match. Every stream, Kane's good. Okay, it's the bias when Son's actually playing well and people are saying he's playing shit that pisses me off. Right. Like, the only time I said Harry Kane was playing like shit was when he was actually playing like shit. But Marcel's here. What's up? Dragon Ball Z. Can't hear you.
Hey,
You're
Marcelo.
muted.
You're muted.
Your mic's not working or something. You may have the wrong mic selected.
Son Goku in the house.
Hello,
Brazil is taking
I
over.
can hear you now, I think.
Yeah.
como tá, Thiago? Bom?
Bom demais.
Aí, Brasil.
There we go. But How did you think about today? We went through all the players and the player ratings. Now we're discussing my my Kane bias.
I would say today was the first time our wingbacks actually play like wingbacks. I would say that.
No, yeah,
You know,
it was good.
I thought Sess and Doherty were fantastic today. Whether it was Leeds who gave them too much space, I don't know. But whatever, you play who you play, and you got to take advantage of what's given to you, and they took advantage, right? So you criticize them and you praise them when they do well. So I thought they did well today.
Man, I'm telling you, Kanye got all.
People saying Son is dog shit is a waste of energy, but that's what I do. Right? Like it's not a waste of energy for me. Me arguing with people is it excites me. It gives me fire and hunger. It makes me feel alive.
Only when
doesn't
it's
feel like a waste of energy.
Only when it's against me does Will feel the fear.
I swear, man, Conte got all 4 wingbacks into a room, and it was just like, if you
It made me
motherfuckers
smile.
don't start doing something, I'm shipping you all out like I did Delhi. I think he just took all 4 of them and got them in a room and just scared the fuck out of them. And that's why they showed up today.
Yeah. When Emerson tried to get around the keeper, I was like, nah, no, you don't have that.
Yeah, you're
Calm
not that
down.
guy, pal. You're not that guy. Pensou que é Ronaldo.
Yeah. Coitado.
Boy.
I was looking at stats, Will, and if you look at the goals this season, the only players who have more goals than Son are Salah, Jota, and Mane, and
Yeah.
Liverpool have scored 70 goals this season. We have scored half those goals.
Yep. But, well, not only that too, but you look over even the past 3 years at players who have scored the most goals across the top 6 or the big 6. Son's third, I think, second or third, and Harry Kane's like 6th or 7th against goals against the top 6 sides. So that's Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool.
I would say this though. I thought Kane was our man of the match today.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
He was
100%,
he was
Easy.
absolutely. I thought Sonny was really unlucky. I thought the midfield, especially Harry Winks, Sonny was making a lot of runs through the channel, and I've been seeing this a lot. A lot of times he makes runs through channels, and just nobody gives him that ball within that space, and it absolutely. And you can see Son was actually pissed off today. I don't know if you noticed. I think
Yeah,
it was
frustrated.
Hoiberg. I forgot who it was, but like he had tons of space, and he makes a great run, and the pass was right there, and nobody gives it to him, and it's annoying. But I thought Sonny's runs was fantastic today. He's definitely in contention man of the match, in my opinion.
Bielsa got
So,
the sack today. What do you think about that? You're his fanboy.
I was actually devastated because look, I know Leeds are in a bad situation right now, but we're in a climate in football where things go bad, blame the manager, right? Look at Bielsa.
But dude,
when he,
it's
no.
gotta do something, man.
Look at Bielsa. Like that's what we say to managers all the time. Like, gotta do something. But if you don't have the players, you can't do nothing, right? He comes into Leeds, right? He gets a squad that's mid-table in the championship, and within 2 seasons, he promotes them to the Premier League, right? He gets a couple players, right? He gets Rafinha and he gets Rodrigo, right? He gets like 3 players, and he gets them to mid-table, right?
But just
the
below
issue is-
mid-table, they finished
just
12,
below,
right?
yeah, 12. I'll say that's still mid-table, right? Like, so he in 3 seasons, he took a mid-table championship side to a mid-table Premier League side. 3 seasons. This is his first bad season. He's playing with players that he's been carrying their weight over and over again. He has Patrick Bamford injured, who's a big player. He doesn't get backed in January, doesn't get backed in the summer. He has to keep carrying with some of these shit defenders, right? He's tried people keep saying, "Oh, he should play defensively." He's tried playing defensively. He's tried playing offensively. None of it works. The only reason he plays that attacking style, it's the only way his team has gotten results. Is playing that way.
And let's not
So he
also
has-
forget that Leeds have really suffered from COVID cases and injuries this
Yeah.
season, more so than most other clubs. And unlike the Scum, they didn't get their games postponed because they had to play. Yeah, and so they played kids a lot this season. You know, there were times where they played games where their entire bench was not even U23s, but like you like U20 players, like 18.
Right, but I mean,
17,
the problem is, I agree with you. Like, I think Bielsa's a great coach. I'm not saying that, but when you're on, they're gonna get relegated if they don't change. Right, they're gonna have to. If you don't get like,
but the thing
Sean
is,
Dyche
Will,
in there to keep them up.
no, but like the thing is, you get Sean Dyche, you get fucking Sam Allardyce, you get anybody, that team is gonna get relegated regardless. That team is gonna get dude. Their defenders cannot defend. They
Dallas is good.
no, he's okay. But he's an attacking.
The guy
he's
that
more-
man Mark's son today is decent.
Dallas is only good going forward. He's not good defensively. None of their defenders are good defensively. He's
Ayling?
tried playing. Ayling is aging, man. Ayling has never listen. Ayling has never seen Premier League football until Bielsa came in. That guy has been hard stuck mid-table his whole entire career, and Bielsa made him into a Premier League footballer. Like,
I mean, that's
you can't-
fine. But I'm saying they're
you can't-
decent players, is what I'm saying. Right?
But they're championship level players. He's got a championship
They're
squad.
bottom table Premier Leagues players,
No,
I think.
no.
Yeah.
They're a
I think if
champion-
they get
other
relegated
than-
this year, you see a lot of people leave. I think you see Dallas stay up. You see Phillips stay up. You see Ayling
Maybe.
probably stay up.
No, Ayling won't stay
Harrison,
up.
James.
Harrison, Koch,
I think you're over at Koch. No, Koch is-
Rafinha, obviously.
Rafinha, obviously, yes. But
I
I
see a
think
lot of that team stay up.
I disagree. I think a lot of their players are not Premier League like. But they're not. If they were Premier League proven, then why didn't they get up or at least compete for the championship before Bielsa? Half of those players.
I mean, they did. They were
They did it.
win the top 6 to 8.
They were
Well, lots of
mid-table.
Lots of them arrived last season. I mean, Rafinha,
Got
Koch,
Jez here. I don't know who this is, but
Rodrigo.
Jez, welcome to the show.
Koch. No. Koch has always been there. Lorente was a. They
No,
did. They
Koch
bought,
was at Freiburg. He was at Freiburg
did they buy Koch in the first season?
last season.
Okay.
last
If they
Yeah.
do go
Okay.
down, we got to go snap up their keeper. Meslier would be an excellent understudy for Hugo, an eventual
Rafinha.
replacement.
Oh, Rafinha.
Well, I
got
want him.
Danny.
Yeah, I'd love to have him too. Absolutely. But I just think, Meslier, he's a really talented keeper. He faces a ton of shots, playing in that team with horrible defense and really aggressive play style. He faces so many shots, and that's what you want. You don't want a keeper who's coming from a team that dominates in their league and he never gets tested. This guy gets tested week in, week out. He's been put through the crucible since they got promoted. And he's young, so I think he'd be the perfect guy to bring in.
Yeah, but I'm gonna read Danny's super chat, and then I need to go get some more water and take another pill. Let's not kid ourselves. We were lucky. Leeds were shit today. Watch us play dog shit again next game. We are getting hyped over beating a shit team.
I'm not hyped.
Wait, who's hyped? Yeah, I'm not. I'm hype about Kulusevski. That's it.
I mean, I will say this, we did what we're supposed to do, right? Everybody expected us, if we played right, we would slap Leeds, right? We slapped Leeds,
At least we're above Wolves now.
it's
Yeah.
there's not much we can do about the opponent we face. So I'm not really hyped. I don't think we're gonna get top 4. I do see some people saying that we are, but
No, we won't.
Did you guys
No,
know that Cody could
that's fine.
literally be my cousin?
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because my grandfather, my mom's grandfather was name is weird, and then he was a McDonald from Canada, and Cody's a McDonald from Canada. So
I wonder if Cody and I are related.
could be.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we are distantly because we have the same last name, but
I was surprised when Will told me that Cody is like 5'8". I thought he was.
Yeah, he's too
really
short.
tall.
He's too short to be my cousin, though.
I thought Cody was at least 6 foot something.
see, now
Yeah,
that sounds more like
that's
my
very
family. Yeah, I'm the tallest, and I'm 5'10".
Yeah, man.
And you know what's crazy? I'm surprised that
I'm 5'9".
Will. I'm surprised that Will is nearly 6 foot.
6'5".
6'5". That's crazy.
No, that's
Yeah. When we all finally meet, I'm gonna be there because all the guys that you see
Towering
too,
effort.
on match day, they're all 5'8", 5'9". I'm gonna be they're gonna be at my shoulders. I'm just gonna be bear hugging all of them. This big giant. But yeah.
I just want to say this before we move on. Marcelo Bielsa is the most overrated manager in the world.
All right, I'm gonna let you two Brazilians fight it out while
What?
I.
Nah.
Why is he overrated?
He's a
is
legend.
overrated.
He's a legend in South
He's
American
not.
football.
He's not overrated. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Marcelo Bielsa is very different than a lot of managers in that winning trophies is not his ambition. It's never been his ambition. He has a
About
totally
the-
different philosophy to a lot of managers. It's all about the way he views football, how it should be played, both tactically with the mentality and the passion that he wants it to be played with. He only chooses to go to clubs that he feels like fit with his ethos. So, like, for example, he'd never come to Tottenham for multiple reasons. One, because we're a big brand, a big commercial brand. He doesn't like that. And two, because we're in a capital city. I'm pretty sure he's never managed in a team in a capital city in Europe.
No.
I have to double check. I'm pretty sure that's the case, though.
No,
but he doesn't like that. He likes clubs that have devoted fan bases and that are focused on football and nothing else but football. That's why he went to Leeds. It's a purists club.
He also won 2 league titles with Newell's in the 90s. Like, you remember that Boca Juniors team? You remember like the River Plate teams in the 90s, bro? Those were some cracking teams. Newell boys were like a relegation side before him. And
it's incredible that he's managed to do that.
That's incredible, man. I personally, like, is he an elite coach? No. But I think his philosophy and his like effect on football is like bigger than a lot of managers. Like, he's influenced so many people.
I have a problem with that because, like, if we go down that logic, Rangnick would be one of the best managers, should be considered one of the best as well, because Klopp was influenced by Rangnick, Tuchel was influenced by Rangnick, but it's always like Pep is inspired by Bielsa, but he makes the changes to his style and he wins. I think it's more of a perception because for me, football is winning. I mean, if I was a Leeds fan and last week they conceded 14 goals, they conceded 4 to United, 6 to Liverpool, 4 to us. I wouldn't be happy conceding 14 goals but playing attacking football.
Yeah, but he also won the championship. You know.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
got credit in the back though.
Yeah, like how many years was Leeds in the
14 years or something like that.
Years, he got them out, you know.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
within 2 seasons, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, this was a team that was one of the biggest in English football that had made it to the Champions League and everything, and then just totally dropped off, and it was irrelevant for over a decade. And he's made them relevant again. A lot of the Leeds fans I've been hearing who have been talking on YouTube and people who call in to like talk sport and stuff like that, a lot of them are saying we'd rather go down with Bielsa and get him to bring us back up next year than fire him and get somebody like Allardyce in. That's what a lot of people. That's what a lot of Leeds fans are saying. They love him there.
There's something I see as well, to be honest.
They booed him off at halftime, though.
I mean, weird. Some of them. I don't. Think
I think they booed the players. If I'm being honest.
They were booing the players more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, like Rangnick, he never did anything meaningful. Like this idea that Bielsa never won something. Like for the clubs that he has been in, he's actually accomplished quite a lot. Like what he did at Newell's is legendary for like their club, right? What he did at Leeds is very like impressive. Like Rangnick has never done anything impressive as a manager. That's my issue with him.
But like Bielsa, his philosophy of football has changed the game.
But as a manager, I wouldn't say Rangnick is a great manager or an elite manager because he really, I don't know, he hasn't really done anything as a manager as far as I know.
Better DOF than a manager.
I think his best time as a manager was probably at Schalke. Like that's it probably.
And he didn't really do anything there, did he?
I mean, wasn't it one of his teams going far into the Champions League? So don't remember anymore which one it was, but it was one of his teams. So.
And I mean,
But-
and don't get me wrong, Ragnick is a good director of football as well. But like, being part of the
Amazing.
RB setup, the amount of resources he had at his disposal as director of football at Leipzig, considering the setup that they have for player development and player recruitment, I mean, you've got like what 4 or 5 different teams sending you players from lower leagues, and you've got the entire like corporate behemoth of Red Bull, the most popular energy drink in the world, backing you financially. Like, I'm not saying what he wasn't a great director of football there, or that didn't take hard work, but he had all the resources he needed at his disposal. Come and do that at a club like Spurs, and then I'll like really give you a standing ovation.
Like, let me ask you this though. Like, I'm going off topic here, but did you guys talk about the Chelsea thing?
Oh, that Abramovich is having to surrender Chelsea?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I don't totally understand, because I don't know. Maybe you know more than I do, Marcelo.
He's still the owner, but like
Okay.
all of his like Russian assets are closed. Like, meaning like because the UK has closed down all of his Russian assets, he's
Yeah.
basically given the club for like a caretaker, like like a club would have a caretaker manager. He's basically has a caretaker owner. But the issue now is that
Because he can't,
is-
because his assets are frozen, he can't pay like the
that, and also he's about to get sanctioned, and
yeah.
also with the war and everything, like the UK is not doing any business or have any
No,
involvement
what
with
I
Russian
just didn't
owners.
understand was like, is he going to be forced to sell, or does
Not
he
at the
just have to
moment.
like remove
Not-
himself from being involved
no,
with the club?
Not
the
at
thing
the
is-
moment.
The thing
if
is,
he
it
gets-
depends on the whole situation. I think in terms of like how long it's gonna like go on for now. Like, let's say the war
Yeah.
actually goes on for a couple of, who knows how long the war goes. It's really hard to say right now. Like, at the moment, it looks all good for him. Like, I think he's just waiting until everything just dies down, and then
Although
he's
he
just
is
gonna
going to
answer.
I
court.
don't think it's
People
gonna die down
people
too
forget
soon.
he is going to
Yeah,
court
this
for
the thing.
like a murder since 2018, and if he gets sanctioned, things could get interesting.
Yeah,
He's actually been. He has lots of ties with Putin. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they sanction him. If they sanction him from being in the UK, then it's done. And
Yeah.
if he gets his money out of Chelsea, I think the club needs to pay something for him, like about $2 billion, and Chelsea would go out of business because they don't
Yeah.
have the
Unless
money to pay.
well, I mean, I'm sure they'd be able to find an investor to come in and fund that and take
Oh,
over
yeah,
the
for
club.
sure.
It's too
I
big
think
of
the
a
thing is,
brand for it to go under.
Yeah.
Like,
But the
nobody's going to
issue
let
is-
that brand and the value it represents just
But the issue
disappear.
is at the moment, Abramovich would either have to sell or he gets sanctioned, and Abramovich is never going to sell it for cheap, right? So no, unless you're paying billions, you're not going to get the club. And if he does get sanctioned and he is, pulled out, and Chelsea does have to pay that fine, they won't have that money, and they won't have the money to pay the players that they have right now under the current contracts, and financially they will collapse. So whichever owner comes in, they're going to have a huge financial problem in their hands already. I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna probably have to deal with like a club that's, in $2 billion in debt. Like
It could be really bad for them.
it could be. Now,
Yeah.
right now, it's okay because although they froze the Russian assets, Abramovich, he still has assets in Israel and other countries. So like, he'll always find a way to pump money into the club. But if he is sanctioned and he is pulled out from Chelsea, unless he sells, that club is fucked.
I think. But the thing is, Chelsea though, aren't they like a self-sustaining model as well right now? So it would affect in terms of how they'd be spending. Like, they couldn't accept any money from Roman, but they still generate money as a club itself. So
Yeah,
it
but
would be
not
very interesting. Like,
but not
how
with the
they-
money, but not with the money that they spend on players,
Yeah,
contracts,
obviously.
and everything
This
like
would
that,
be the issue.
and not the fine that they would have to receive. Like Chelsea would have to pay $2 billion if he gets sanctioned. Like there's
So,
no
Ellie-
way Chelsea has that money.
So Ellie commented, "No brand is too big to go under." Ellie, what I meant by that was like, obviously, yes, like it could technically happen to any club, any brand, but I think because of the value there is in the Chelsea brand, what I'm saying is before they would be able to go under, somebody would come in and buy them up and save them because if they do go under, that's all the potential value somebody could get out of the club.
But
In
the
terms
issue
of
is
branding and
Carrion,
marketing, all that just disappears.
But the issue is, Carrion, it really depends on one. Will Abramovich sell before he is sanctioned? If he is sanctioned, right? There's a lot of ifs here, right? If he is sanctioned, would he sell before he's sanctioned? I don't know, right? A lot, like, will there be a buyer that's willing to buy what he will ask, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt he's going to sell Chelsea for cheap, right? Like I said, it's going to be billions. So will he have a buyer? That's number one. If he doesn't have a buyer before he's sanctioned, Chelsea will have to pay that fine out of their own pockets. Now,
Pay back the loan of money he loaned to the club. Yeah.
Exactly. So that could be up to $2 billion, maybe more, right? They don't have that type of money. So whoever comes in and buys them, not only do they have a financial situation with players with big contracts and, will cost big money, they're going to have a huge debt also in their hands. You know what I mean? Like, so
It's just like at Spurs. Whoever buys Spurs needs to pay for the club and then pay for the debt of the stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's why nobody wants to buy us right now. That's why nobody.
Aaron just commented, London is the world's capital of money laundering. That's true. There's no way Chelsea will go under, nor will the UAE and Saudi and Qatar teams. Too much money to lose. And that's exactly what I meant, is that, there's too much potential money that somebody could be making off that club.
Yes, but the thing
is,
Carrion,
be a buyer to come in.
But the thing is, Carrion, if a new club is if this happens to Chelsea, right, and there's new investors that are willing to buy a club, they'll just buy a small club, like for example, like Newcastle, and then just launder or do whatever money with them. That's much cheaper than getting Chelsea, who will be in tremendous debt and will have to be already like your payoff.
Well, Abramovich. Abramovich
let me
is
ask
also going
you
to
this.
have to structure the repayment of that debt favorably to whoever takes over the club, right? If he wants to get any money out of it at all, because if the club can't pay and go under, then he gets nothing. But if somebody comes in and buys it, he's likely to structure that repayment of the loan in a way that they can afford. Whoever buys it can afford.
He's not gonna take anything cheap, man. He's
well,
gonna
it
want
won't be
some money
cheap,
up front.
but he's got to be realistic. That
he doesn't care. It doesn't affect him.
I think he will care in this situation more so, just because these Russian billionaires are taking big hits from every direction financially, all over Europe.
But the thing is,
if
another club is going to buy them, it's not going to be a Russian billionaire. Because of
no. Abramovich is, though, and what I'm saying is that he's not going to let the club go under because that means he makes nothing. He doesn't get any of his money back. But if someone comes in to buy the club, he can't just be like, you have to pay me that $2 billion up front, because no one's going to do that. So he needs somebody. He would need somebody to buy the club. So he needs to structure that in a way that they can agree to.
But first he needs to get someone. Yeah, he needs a buyer first. That's the issue.
Need to find a buyer first. Exactly.
Because if there's someone that's willing to buy a club right now, as I told you, it's going to be like a Newcastle club. It's going to be a club that has potential.
I don't think so. I think there are a lot of American venture capitalist firms that would absolutely buy Chelsea Football Club. They'll throw their money together and buy it because they already know the brand. And they can just
buy it, pick it apart, sell it for parts, and make profit off of it.
They could either pick it apart or they could, double down. If they built a new stadium or just renovated the bridge because it's a dump, if they renovated it, built a new stadium, that would be huge for Chelsea. You know, a team that already has massive.
But if the government seizes his assets, they don't have to pay him anything.
Exactly, and then he doesn't even have an option to sell. Then the government would have to sell, essentially auction Chelsea off, and that would be, that would be. Anyway, as Spurs fans, we should all take heart that no matter what happens, it's probably going to be bad for Chelsea some way, somehow.
It's gonna listen. It's gonna screw them over regardless.
Can we say
Karma's a bitch.
to Chelsea?
Yeah. I fucking hate Chelsea. I hope it does happen.
Chelsea.
I would love nothing more
Chelsea.
if Abramovich gets sanctioned and they go through this financial crisis, and then they have to spend a couple years in the championship. Oh, I would love nothing more.
This is the risk you run, though. Hold on.
Just to see them not spend big money in the transfer window and watch them cry, feeling the same pain we've felt for years in the transfer window, that would be enough.
This is the risk. This is the risk
we
that you
continue
run.
to feel. Excuse me.
This is the risk that you run when your owners have dirty business practices, right? So,
yeah.
Listen,
to governments and stuff like that.
I will say this, listen, one day along the line, this could also happen to City. You never know.
The war broke out there. That was somehow if they did something.
Maybe even Newcastle.
I don't know about that. I mean, look what the Saudis are doing in Yemen, and that's just being allowed by the international community. And they bought Newcastle during their genocide in Yemen. I don't know about that. It's one thing how they judge Russia. It's another thing with these other countries. Honestly,
Karen, you never know with these crazy, dirty billionaires, right? They could step out of line at any point.
Yeah, like it's happening because it's Yemen, right? So
yeah,
they don't
well,
care
that's
about
the
Yemen.
thing.
If it was
if
Israel
you do crimes in
or
countries people care about, that's the whole thing. Like Ukraine is in Europe, so obviously they're going to care more about that. But as long as you're doing your crimes in the corners of the world where nobody really gives a shit, then you can do whatever you want.
They don't care about Ukraine. They don't care about Ukraine. All of this is about NATO and Russia. Ukraine is there alone, fighting for themselves. The population is learning how to make bombs to defend themselves, and nobody is doing anything. And this Chelsea thing could not happen, because today France already said that they would support Russia getting out of SWIFT, which is a system of more than 11,000 banks in Europe. If they get out of SWIFT, they're fucked.
Yeah.
So, and it's looking.
I gotta say, I have a lot of respect for Ukraine, bro. Those guys are fucking badasses.
Yeah.
You see their president? He's like going on the street. He's like going on the street fighting.
I respect that.
Yeah.
My son's been. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's apparently this rumor called the Ghost of Kiev, who is this fighter pilot who, in an old MiG-29, took down like 6 Russian fighters, like down to like Su-25s, Su-37s, which are like, modern, stealthy fly-by-wire aircrafts. And so he's been all excited about that. So I had him watch Top Gun yesterday.
He posted what was it on Instagram Live? He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna stream the war tomorrow," and he was just streaming the battle on Instagram. That's wild, man. Like, what the fuck?
Do you know what I keep thinking about the war? I mean, what the hell is happening in North Korea? Because nobody has information. Imagine if those guys are preparing to attack as well.
North Korea won't do shit, bro.
I can tell you from personal experience, we know everything that goes on in North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea sucks.
Every time Kim Jong-il takes a poo-poo, we know.
Listen, North Korea,
but he doesn't poop. Will
it was so funny because I remember when North Korea was like, "Yeah, we built a missile that can, reach the USA," and then like we're basically like, "Hey, look at this submarine. It can just like literally blow you up." like, come on, man.
I'm lucky. I'm still in Brazil.
We got Cody and Dan in the house, though. They've been sitting there kind of quiet. Do they have anything they'd like to say since they've come into the show?
I've just got a question for Marcelo, and that's if Chelsea can't afford the wages for the players, does that mean they have to go as a free agent?
Oh no, those players they would have to sell. If he is sanctioned, I don't care who comes and buys them, right? Whoever comes and buys them is still gonna have a huge financial mess. They're gonna have to sell half of their players. They're gonna have to financially recover. It's gonna take a couple years. Depending on the owner, it could take up to 5-10 years to financially recover, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of money that they're gonna need to recover if Abramovich is sanctioned and everything.
Oh,
So that means Kai Havertz, Timo
Lukaku.
Werner,
He'd be buzzing.
Conte.
Lukaku,
those guys.
Conte, all those guys on
Werner.
big wages. They're going.
Oh my god.
I'm loving that.
I am absolutely salivating at the thought of all these delicious Chelsea
But that's a lot of
tears.
ifs. That's
All
a lot of
these
ifs,
Chelsea-
fellas.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a
Yeah.
lot of ifs here.
We
And that
can't
new
get too
contract for
excited. We
Rudiger.
can't get too
And that new
excited.
contract for Rudiger as well.
Oh yeah, that's done. That's done.
No, they could
No,
they could
no.
still afford some players, but not.
He already
not,
handed over. I think he handed over stewardship of the company to somebody, to some charity or
to
something like
the-
that.
Oh yeah,
to
no.
the
This is
people in the board already. Yeah.
listen. Just him handing over caretakers and his assets in Russia being frozen out. That's already a financial hit on Chelsea. They're definitely not going to go as big as they were planning to this summer. I guarantee you that. That's
I wonder
already a
if
big
any
financial
players will
hit.
push for moves because they just don't want to be associated with it.
That could also very well be true. A lot of players might. I mean, I don't think players care. I think a lot of
Most
listen,
of them
I'm not gonna
don't,
lie.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. This whole politics bullshit, that players have, where they wear the armband and everything, and
It's
I
PR.
listen,
It's mostly PR.
I think
We know
it's a
that.
great
Yeah.
message, but they don't give a shit. They couldn't fucking care less.
No,
Yeah.
people are more. People do care nowadays. Like people have. There's a new form of business called a B Corp in the United States, and that's where like off every item you sell, you give a specific amount of money to a specific charity or whatever, and you get tax benefits for that for being a B Corp.
But I'm talking about footballers. Well, they don't.
Yeah, but
they
what
don't-
I'm saying is the reason why that's happening and it's being successful is because even consumers now won't buy from a company unless they're, part of their purchase goes to some charity. Like the consumer, people's concepts have changed recently.
Yeah, rich people's concepts have changed.
Yeah.
That doesn't really apply to the average consumer. The average consumer cares about what they're paying for the product.
Yeah, but even millennials, though, I think their buying purchase now, like if they buy a pair of Tom shoes and one pair goes to a kid in Africa and they're paying the same price for a pair of Nikes that goes to,
Yep, millennials in
5-year-old
very
in
rich
China.
countries and very rich situations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
United States, Canada.
Not
that's what I'm talking
millennials
about.
who are in Ukraine right now.
No, I'm not talking about the people in Ukraine.
Yeah,
I'm
but we're talking about
the people in the
footballers.
UK.
Yeah, we're talking
America,
about
And most
Canada.
of these footballers are very rich millennials or Gen Zs. So
I'm just saying that the only reason that they give two shits about that is because they have the finance to do it. They wouldn't
Exactly.
be biting,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be cutting their own hand
No,
off
people
to feed someone else. Just like
People in developing
all these
countries don't
people
care
who
about
are
any of
putting
that stuff.
the Ukraine flag in their Twitter profile and everything like that. I'm sorry. NATO has let the Ukraine down. How is it that the Ukraine are sitting there having to defend themselves against Russia right now?
Well, it's
Right?
because
We're going to sanction them and everything.
Because of what
That's
party's in the
bullshit.
White House.
They don't give a
Yeah.
shit that Russia's going to take over the Ukraine. They don't give a shit,
well,
right? If they did, they wouldn't have
I
pulled
mean-
the troops out. They
I
wouldn't have
mean,
invited
let's
them on.
not forget the rest time. I mean, okay, obviously, being from the country that leads NATO, let's not forget the last time the U.S. and NATO and Russia were this hard up against each other, and how many times the world could have been completely obliterated because of
this
it.
happens all the time.
I mean,
though.
you have to be careful in these situations when you're talking about opposing interests of two nuclear powers.
That's fine. Just don't pretend like you care about the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, I get that. I get
this
that
happens,
100%.
This happens all the time. Like nobody said anything when Russia invaded Chechnya. Nobody said anything when Russia invaded Georgia. Nobody said anything. Well, now people are saying stuff when it's Ukraine, because it's a little bit bigger, more prominent country. But
And it's a little bit closer to their doorstep.
yeah. Then when they go after Poland too next, they'll let that happen as well. So
No, they will go to Finland and Sweden.
Probably a couple
first.
steps between then, though. Probably go for Belarus before Poland.
Belarus
Well,
is
they
already
basically
part of-
already have
yeah.
Belarus. Belarus. I mean, Belarus is just a puppet
Just a
state.
puppet country.
Yeah,
They will go to the
it's
Balkans
basically part of
first.
Russia already.
They will
A
go
lot of puppet
Lithuania.
countries involved in this.
They will go to Lithuania, Estonia, and the other country I forgot how to say it in English. They go to those 3 countries, so they have this whole protection in front. Poland, they will not go. I don't think they will be crazy to do that because it's right beside Germany. If they go, they will go to Finland and Sweden because both of them are already saying they will join NATO. Join NATO if they feel like their sovereignty is in danger. So that's.
I
how
hope
they're gonna go.
everyone's enjoying Will Stewart's geopolitical rants channel. This is,
I will say this.
It's a modern thing. It's happening.
yeah. No.
It's infected the football world. Like they had the Champions League finals been moved to Paris, and
Thank
Yeah.
Russian
goodness
and
it was in
Ukrainian
Paris.
teams
Yeah.
have to play their matches in
Tottenham.
neutral
Yeah,
sites.
they
Can't play in
were
Russia or
considering
Ukraine.
Tottenham. We didn't even talk about that. They were
No,
considering
no.
Tottenham
If
for
an
the
English
Champions League final.
if an English side made it to the
Won
final,
the Champions League at
I would
our
burn that stadium
ground.
down. I would
Oh
burn
my
that stadium
God.
down.
They did.
I'll burn it
We would
down.
never hear the end of
Burn
that.
it down. Just
Oh.
burn it down.
And what if
I
it
would
was
just burn it.
Chelsea? What if
Burn it
Chelsea
down.
repeats.
Okay,
No, they
what
won't.
if what if Chelsea had won the Champions League again
Burn it
in
down.
our stadium, and then afterwards, they end up going into financial turmoil or whatever, and say they're bad for the next decade. So even during that decade, when we would have been making fun of them, they could have said, "Yeah, but we won back-to-back Champions League, and the second one was at your ground." Oh man, I'm so glad.
But what did they
that
lose
didn't
in the
happen.
final?
Glad it's in Paris. Glad it's
I'll
in
say
Paris.
this: bringing it back to Spurs, I think I'm really excited for next week game because it is the only competition I care for, and that is the FA Cup. And I think Middlesbrough is going to be tough. What are your thoughts?
We can't
Play like we did
underestimate
today.
them.
It shouldn't be tough.
I actually have a few stats. We have actually only lost one time against Middlesbrough in our 13 meetings.
Didn't we
Right.
beat them pretty well in the FA Cup last season?
Yep, and then we're
Yeah.
unbeaten against them in the FA Cup. And but the issue is we haven't reached an FA Cup quarterfinals since 2017. No, 2018. My bad.
Because that's when we lost in the semifinal, right? Yeah.
We haven't reached a quarterfinal since
If
2000.
we play like we did today, we won't
We
lose.
should beat Burrow. I mean,
If we don't play like we did today, we will
It's
lose.
a completely different match, though.
Yeah, Borough is much tighter than Leeds. They're gonna play with 11 men on the ball, and you know how we are. And if it starts raining, might as well throw in the towel. We
Dude, I don't. We
rain.
can't turn into tie now. Like that's the whole.
No,
tie
I'm
thing there 'cause it's
serious. We
raining.
can't win in the rain. Listen, as soon as it started raining, you could watch me and David's watch along. As soon as it started raining and I saw Harry Winks on, I said, "This is over. We lost." And people thought I was being crazy, but I was right. We can't win in the rain. I feel like we just can't. Just juju.
But
I believe there is such a thing as football juju.
I gotta give it to Winks though. That pass to he got the hockey assist on the Doherty goal. That pass to Sessegnon. He literally opened his body. He did the thing that we're always wanting him to do. He opened his body, received the pass, turned on the ball, ran forward, and then passed it forward. I couldn't believe it. Honestly,
Can I say something to this?
It was beautiful.
This is something, but I loved it. But this is something I expect a midfielder to do, like at this level of football.
Oh
like,
yeah,
if you can't do
absolutely.
that, if you can't do that, then I'm happy because there's so much.
Nobody's
space
making
for
a
the
case
pass.
for Harry Winks on this channel,
It's
man.
crazy.
Nobody.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Nah,
Yeah, no Winks apologies here. I can't
Man,
stand
when
it.
is-
But
Highlighting
I
the
just
fact
wasn't-
that he is executing the basics only supports our opinion that he should have been replaced years ago.
When is Skip coming back? Is there any news about
I
him?
heard
Next
today
week.
that maybe next weekend.
Please.
I miss that guy.
Please. I really miss Skip. I love him.
Ollie, Skip, Ollie, Skip, Ollie, Skip.
And we're gonna need him if we're gonna play Everton because Everton's gonna be a tough game. They gave
really well against City.
they gave City a run for their money, bro.
What do you think about the handball? What did you think about the handball?
Disgrace. Disgrace.
Disgrace, man.
Apparently,
Absolutely.
Can you believe
disgrace.
that after
No, hold on. I got a rant
Romero's
to go.
handball?
I got a rant to go. Premier League, you're a fucking disgrace. How is that not a handball? How is it Romero's, who literally has his hand right here, you know, just blocking his face? That's a handball. But fucking Rodri, who literally sticks out his arm and just goes like this with it to move the ball. How is that not a handball?
I'll tell you why.
Where's the consistency?
I'll tell you why. It's because in the build-up, there was an Everton player who was offside.
They never showed the offside.
The Premier League officially confirmed that was not the reason. They said it was because there was more on the sleeve than on the red part of the arm. If you look at a photo,
there was no offside. There was no offside.
And you know what the thing as well is, like, you can tell, like, he is actually even trying to put his arm forward to receive it with his arm. So for me, it's like, it's a handball. Like, clear.
Listen, and you know what? I didn't believe this whole conspiracy shit. I just thought, like, you know, the rest were shit until I saw us beat Man City and I saw that fourth official, whoever he was, the look on his face tells you everything. If you do not think there is a conspiracy within the FA and that they don't, you know, I'm not saying they match fix, but they don't give favors to bigger clubs, you know, to make things more interesting, you're lying to yourselves. They definitely do. It's not VAR checking a penalty. It's VAR checking the badge. That's what it should be named for, bro.
Yep.
Because that's how it is every time.
Preach.
Definitely agree. They should be looked into, man. It's happened way too many times. With Manchester
Absolutely
City.
a disgrace.
Well, see, this is where we get to the problem, though. Here's where we get to the problem. Who investigates the Premier League? Because if UEFA does it or if FIFA does it, I mean, those organizations are even more corrupt. So,
Kieran,
like,
do you follow Romain Molina on Twitter?
That sounds familiar.
He's I don't know how to describe him because I don't want to like mislabel him here, but he appears to be like an investigative journalist who has all these contacts throughout the network of world football, and some of the accusations that he has made through his social media and through his articles and everything. I mean, we're talking about manipulation of player values on transfer market. We're talking about terrorist organizations being involved in the running of some of the biggest clubs in world football, including PSG. We're talking about match fixing. We're talking about statistical websites like SofaScore that are being paid money to inflate or deflate player ratings to increase their value. There's a lot. And listen, if there's anything that can be gleaned from watching a wide array of sport, it's that football is one of the dirtiest sports in the world, bar none. And if it would not surprise me one bit if the referees were a part of that.
Oh yeah.
No,
I mean, it's the international game of, you know, it's gonna be, it's by nature it's gonna be the most corrupt. You know, it's got the most money in it spread across the globe.
I don't know.
It exists everywhere.
The most corrupt. I think boxing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's
nobody lays a finger on boxing. It's almost part of the sport, honestly. I feel like if boxing wasn't corrupt, it would feel weird.
I didn't watch this. Apparently, there was a fight today, and I didn't even watch it. But I heard, like, I saw the stats. And I heard the guy, I mean, he got absolutely robbed, and it's just like, I mean, it's disgusting how much they you know, fix fights and everything.
Yeah.
Guys getting paid to take dives and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, it's,
This was judges, though. This was judges. I think this fight went all the way to the end, and all three judges were wrong, basically.
Oh, okay.
That was what I was getting from, like.
That's so brazen, man. Like, I can't believe that.
You don't think judges aren't paid off, man? I'm just saying.
No, he does.
Yeah,
That's
the
what he's
referees
saying.
are paid
He's
off.
saying it
2 to
was
1 or whatever, but like this time it was like, all right, this guy clearly won the fight. There was universal
There's no debate.
universal shock at the result.
Yeah.
And
It's sad,
yeah,
man.
it's nowhere near the first
Boxing-
time it's happened.
I used to like boxing, then I stopped watching it after all the.
When you have a sport based on opinions, you know you've got a problem.
True.
You know you've got a problem.
That's a.
I mean,
That's
every sport,
a very good observation. Yeah.
Figure
every sport
skating.
has an opinion, though. Every sport has an opinion. I mean, like, you know, some people
Yeah,
think a penalty isn't. You know, some penalties are penalties, some penalties aren't penalties. You know, but it's only when it's watertight. When it's a clear penalty and it's not given, like the Everton one, then you have to raise eyebrows, right? Then you have to like start thinking, you know, because I thought about the Champions League final. I was like, how come Musa Sissoko got a handball and that's not a handball? You know,
Exactly.
you don't
But-
show
but-
you don't
But
show
did
the
they change the
offside.
rules for that?
I
swear
think they did.
I
They
think
did.
after Sissoko and handball, they changed the rules, so it isn't a handball anymore. Which
Yeah,
is
but
kinda
but the
crazy
thing
still.
is, Rodri just
Yeah, I know. Like the Rodri one is just a blatant
he's just
penalty.
the
Like
most
just
blatant
no.
handball I've ever seen in my life.
Hey,
At
but
one
that's-
point,
I
you
mean-
gotta look back. At one point, you gotta look back and realize why there is rules, and that is so players don't just grab the ball and start running or use the hand to their advantage. Rodri 100% used the hand to his advantage. At one point, he just moved into the ball, could move forward.
Listen,
His eyes were right at the ball. He knew what he was doing. I have no understanding why that was not given as a penalty.
I
That
told
is
my
just
friend, I
disgusting.
said, I wish I'd applied to be a ref. I wish I could be shit at my job, make as many mistakes as they do, and if someone comes up and questions me, I could just ban them for 3 games.
Well, Marcelo, I'm actually a referee, so
Well, I'm talking about
He
Premier
needs a
League. ref.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
you
be a
know,
crappy
I-
referee, and don't listen to parents to make your calls, but listen to constructive criticism.
yeah. No,
Sometimes referees, especially in the United States at the youth level,
Like, did you see after the game though?
just dumb.
The Everton players, they were like went up to, I think, what was it, Paul Tierney?
I
They
think
went
so.
up to him and they asked him, "How was that not a handball? Where was the offside? Why
And they got
was it
yellow
not
card.
given?" And they didn't answer any of the questions. And you know what they said? They were like, "If you keep coming at me, I'm gonna ban you."
Yeah, they gave Ashley Cole a yellow card because
Yeah.
he kept arguing.
It's a joke. I mean, imagine you make a big decision like that and you just don't offer any explanation.
Yeah. No,
This is
why.
this has been the worst.
That's
this is
why
the worst one.
where I think like football needs to like follow like rugby and the NFL a little bit, where like after the video review, referees give an explanation, or like in rugby, you know, they're mic'd up and you can hear them talking to the video referee. You can hear the referee and the video referee talking and you know, and deliberating over the decision, reaching a conclusion, and then making the decision. You hear the whole process, so it's all like open to everyone. They get what's going on, and it's a lot more clear. And even if you disagree, then you can at least see where they were coming from when they made the decision. But I feel like the resistance to doing that in football does kind of make you raise your eyebrows a little bit and be like, well, what's really going on? If they don't want to tell us why or how they're coming to these decisions, then like, what's really going on?
Well, I mean,
get
if
that,
you look
yeah.
in the Bundesliga, I mean, look what Jude Bellingham said. You know, against Bayern Munich versus Dortmund. Dortmund should have had a clear penalty, and then after the match, he said, how come a ref who has been caught match fixing? Right, this is a fact. He was caught. He was fined for it. It's not like a lie. He's talking facts. And he said, how come a referee who's been caught fixing games is allowed to ref a game as big as this? And you know what
shouldn't
he
be
got?
allowed to
He got-
referee, period.
Yeah,
You should
period.
lose all
Right,
your
exactly.
credentials.
But you know what he got for saying that? He got punished for saying that.
Yeah, they suspended him.
And
So
instead
him.
of the Bundesliga saying, hold up, this guy match fixes, we need to get him out of the game, they're like, no, you can't say that. You're banned. That's ridiculous. That's
But that's the thing.
absolutely. Imagine that happen in the NFL. Will
What?
a referee who's been caught match fixing? You never ref again.
Yeah, you'd never ref again. It gets, yeah, you get.
You never
You
ref.
go to jail.
Yeah.
In the United
But-
States, it's illegal.
But in football and normal football, it's like if you talk about it, you're scrutinized by the league.
Yeah. Jude Bellingham has actually had a lot of calls go against him. I don't know if you guys remember the Champions League game versus Manchester City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was disgraceful as well.
Yeah, it's really weird because, like, again, to make another comparison, and I think it's a better comparison than the NFL, honestly, culturally. Like, in rugby, the referee gets the utmost respect. Players don't chirp at the referee. If they do, they're very likely to get a yellow card, same way as in football. But they're a lot more strict with it in terms of contact. A lot of the times, the only person allowed to speak to the ref at all is the captain. Everybody else needs to stay away and keep their mouth shut. And they have a lot of power, but there's a lot of openness as well. And referees are public figures within the game, and talk about, they give interviews. They talk about decisions, and like I said, they're mic'd up so you can hear them on the field. And they explain to players decisions all the
Well, they're mic'd up
time.
now
Like,
because there was a lot of blowback from people, right? Like,
well, there was, there
yeah.
was, but like I'm just saying, there's more culture of respect for referees in that sport than in football. But part of the respect also comes from the transparency, right? And in football, you have a sport where like referees have always kind of gotten stick from
Shady.
people and from players all the time. Yet there's no.
Well, they've been shady. I mean,
openness and
referees have
transparency
been
at all.
shady.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this is the thing,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I would say it's a thing of like, because we as fans, like, we talk about it when it happens, and then after a couple of days, we just then don't talk about it anymore. I think this also us having to put pressure on people actually trying to make changes to them, because I even just seen a video, Wolves, when City played Wolves, I think away, like one of their players, exact same situation, and City got the penalty for it. But this time they get away with it. It's crazy.
Sorry if I keep touching my face. The feeling's starting to come back, and it tickles, but I can't. It's like can't itch it.
What happened?
Oh, like I had surgery yesterday.
We all nearly died.
Yeah, I almost died.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
That was my reaction.
What?
Yeah, I had. So remember, I missed a show on Wednesday because I had headaches, right? Apparently, I had a cyst or an abscess under my root, one of the roots of my teeth.
Ooh.
And it apparently had been there for a while. It was quite large, and so if it had burst, I could have had gone septic and gotten bacteria in my bones and into my blood, which you can die from sepsis in like 2 days.
Oh my god!
And my whole face went numb. I lost all the feeling on this side of my face, and so they had to remove that tooth and get it out. So I'm back,
Well,
antibiotics.
surgery successful at least, right?
Well, they got the tooth out.
All right.
We'll see. I have to go back in 2 weeks to see if the cyst is shrinking and not growing in size.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh!
They couldn't
Glad you
remove the
caught
cyst
it.
because it was on top of the nerve, and if they did it, they could permanently damage the nerve, which means I'd be paralyzed in half my face for the rest of my life. So they're gonna try to do it, antibiotics, pull the tooth, take the pressure away, so that the cyst can now move up the empty hole that the tooth was there, rather than into the hole where the nerve sits. And yeah.
Well, you know what? You're already a tough wank. If half your face goes numb, it'll be really impossible.
That's right. I told my kids, at least I can do slap competitions then, and get them on YouTube.
Well, I hate
That's
to
why
leave.
when I talk, my lips. That's why this is going to this side, because this is a side that has feeling, and I can't feel that at all.
So
Oh,
you just point that part of your face at the screen if anyone's talking slander about.
And
Son.
I even poofed out this beard so you can see the side of my face. I mean, you can probably still see it, but it's pretty swollen. Right up.
You poofed?
Yeah, poofed my beard out. I normally brush it down. Today I brushed it up so that it makes my face look symmetrical.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was gonna go.
I
I don't know if I
didn't
should leave
notice
on
any
that
of the-
on that sad note.
Well, that's why I've been kind of quiet today, right? I can't laugh or smile or yell because it hurts to do those things. So.
Will.
That's why I said don't make
I'm
me
sorry,
smile.
Will, and I
Sorry.
hope everything goes all right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here, man.
Yeah,
I'm a
keep
trooper.
keep us informed, obviously.
I'm a fighter.
Guys, I would love to stay more, but I need to go. It's Carnival. Tomorrow's day to party, so actually today. So I need to go get some sleep.
Go get some sleep. You go party. It's only like 10 o'clock.
No, it's probably
Yes.
like what 1 o'clock in Brazil.
Half past midnight already.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to get some sleep, and because tomorrow will be a long day. My liver will be asking for help after this one.
A cachaça.
É, e um pouquinho mais, um corote também, talvez.
Tá bom.
But it was a pleasure being here for the first time. Marcelo, Jess, Dan, Kirian, was the first time I was in stream with you guys. It was a pleasure. As you can see my name, talking about childhood, make sure to go subscribe. We're gonna have a show on Monday. And Cody, Will, pleasure being with you guys here. 3 points. On to Tuesday, coming in Spurs.
Let's go, Tiago.
Come on,
Thanks
you
for coming on,
Spurs.
man. Appreciate it. And for people that don't know, Tiago's part of Colin's show over there with Talking Ball. So if you haven't subscribed to them, go subscribe to them already. So he's the co-host over there. So
Yeah, Tiago brings all like the stats and the tactics and the hard numbers to Colin's vibes. So it works pretty well. Yeah.
Always find it funny is like that column guy blocked me, I guess, on Twitter. But like he comes at me, attacks me, and then blocks me. Like what?
What Colin guy?
Colin from Talking Ball.
No, Column. He was on the show earlier in the chat.
Oh, that guy. The one that was
Check
saying
my
Silver
Twitter.
Squad.
Check my tweets, tweet replies, or whatever. It's on there.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. He was like, "Hey, Will, you better bring up the Kane." Whatever.
Yeah, where's the crane check right now, you dumb yank, or some stupid something like that, right? So
You gotta stop getting into fights on Twitter, man. It's not healthy.
Cody's evil smile.
Cody facilitates and starts most of them. So.
Cody lives
I don't know.
for the
I don't know if you guys.
blood
I don't know if you guys
Not
remember.
not very nice to accuse me of that.
I don't know if you
Making
guys
me smile.
remember. I had this like Arsenal like lapdog that always used to follow me around and always used to reply to my comments. And
Yeah, but it's
one
only
day,
Harry Kane fans that follow me around.
yeah, but he was just like Arsenal, little lapdog of mine, and every time like I would have fun with him. But one day I was like bored, and I was like, I'm just gonna block you. I just blocked him.
But what's funny is they come at me and then they end up blocking me. It's like,
This is so weird, man.
It's because you're rude, Will.
well, no, it's because they can't beat me.
I can't believe that anybody would be like obsessed with like some person talking on a rival fans like fan channel, you know, like rival clubs fan channel. Like I would never like be furiously like tweeting at the AFTV guys or like what's that dude Rory Jennings, the Chelsea guy? Is it
Oh no,
Rory
I've tagged him
Jennings,
a couple times because last season he said Son had
he's
a horrendous
insufferable, man.
No,
I hate that guy.
He legitimately doesn't know anything about football because last season he was like, "Oh, Son had a horrendous season," and then they talked about Mason Mount for about 3 hours, and I was like, "Son stats literally blows Mason Mount stats by like a billion mile, and he's in a worse team."
Yeah, I used to watch that kickoff thing. I used to watch the kickoff, but not anymore.
Kickoff is so shit. I mean, all they do
I like
is
kickoff. I watched kickoff.
Well, Rory Jennings, bro, like this guy, like I think even Chelsea fans hate him. Like he's that bad. Like his football knowledge and that.
All they do nowadays
He's
is like
like a
jerk
washed
off
up
to-
kid actor, isn't he? Right. So
all they do nowadays is jerk off to like Wayne Rooney. Like they were saying, oh, Wayne Rooney should have won a Ballon d'Or over R9. It's like, what?
Over R9? Oh my god.
What?
Like, hello.
I like the True Geordie though.
Yeah, I mean True Geordie
He's
and what was it? True Geordie and I like that
He's
Man
fine,
City
yeah.
fan, Boovie. I think he's pretty funny at times. He's just kind of a wind
I
up.
don't even know the
like,
Tottenham fan that get in there that every time. I don't even know him. Like I
know one of them.
Yeah.
Me too.
But he's actually like very active on Tottenham Twitch and stuff. But I was watching it a clip of it the other day on Twitter, and they were talking about that Hugo Lloris save against Manchester City, the one that
yeah, they were like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a standard save.
any Premier
Standard.
League
God,
keeper
bro.
saves that. If and they also said if he's in a better position, he catches that.
He catches that.
No,
That's
no.
that's fucking insane.
And you know, and
it's
you know
an
what's funny?
unbelievable.
And you know what's funny? They were like, "Oh, Hugo Lloris, most overrated keeper. You know, he does this
Yeah.
every game." And then we're like, "Hold on a second. One, he doesn't make mistakes every game. He's made mistakes 2 games that you brought up, and all the keepers that you praise, I can literally find moments where they've made mistakes. Like Alisson has made mistakes. He made a mistake against Spurs that led to a second goal. You know, with Ederson's probably, dude. That guy has been nutmegged and like, you know, had a ball over him like so many times. He comes off his line
Yeah,
late
man.
at a lot of
Yeah.
times, bro. He
Yeah,
makes
I think-
tons of mistakes.
If I call goalkeeper overrated, Edison for me is just one of
Edison's
them.
fucking
Ederson is very
overrated, man.
overrated,
Like,
man.
like
Mm.
he's good.
He's also
he's good with
dirty.
his feet, but
He's also
he's good with
such a
his feet,
dirty
but
player.
He's
as a
fucking
goalkeeper,
overrated,
awful.
man.
He's good at
He's-
drop kicking people with his feet, like
yeah,
rushing out of
He
his
has a
box
world
and just
record or
kung
something for
fu
the
kicking
farthest drop kick.
somebody. Like,
Bro, how do you get chipped by Di Maria in a fucking Copa America final? I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive
He's
him.
still salty about that.
I'm still salty about that. I will never forgive him. He's a shit keeper.
this is where it comes out. Of course, it was tied to Brazil somehow.
I don't care.
I
You don't
knew you
get-
had to have more
you
of a
don't-
reason.
You
than-
don't get chipped in a final against Argentina. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. If that was Alisson, he would have saved that.
100%. Like
Lloris would have
I
saved
never
that.
get get those arguments if who's better for Brazil, Alisson or
Alisson.
Edison.
It's Alisson.
It's so
Why
crazy.
would
all day.
Why was Allison not starting in that game? Was
No,
he-
because they're generally on Twitter. I just see like arguments, especially during Copa America, when people were trying to tell me that Edison should be the number 1
I
goalkeeper.
think
but
Alisson
I'm
That's
had
like,
an
crazy.
injury. I think he had a groin.
Was he
groin
injured?
injury.
okay.
Yeah, because
Or
Alisson
ball playing though. I mean,
Allison,
as
in
far as,
my
keeper,
in my
keeper.
opinion, is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
I think so too.
Yes, if you talk all around keeper, yeah,
all
yeah.
around,
Yeah, all around,
like
yeah.
every category. Like Hugo,
But-
I think is the best shot
Best
stopper.
shot stopper. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
then,
Allison's
you know, these guys,
so good in every area.
these guys in kickoff, they're like, oh, De Gea and everything. Like, bro, De Gea makes tons of mistakes. A
yeah,
lot.
kinda.
Yes, he does.
Like Hugo has the most saves in the Premier League other than Sa.
Do you
most
remember
saves
that
should've
goal
been
that
goal.
Steven Bergwijn scored against De Gea in the restart
Oh, yeah.
under Jose?
Horrendous.
Like
Yeah,
right
that's a
after they went back to football after
was-
COVID.
Yeah, I remember that. When
I don't know. I don't know what's with this.
He
agenda with
literally like
Lloris.
let it through his
Oh, yeah.
body. He had like
The Berg one.
his
Yeah.
it hit his like chest and his arms in a perfect place to save it, and he still let it go in. Just
And the
let it
Ronaldo one in
go
the World Cup.
through him.
I don't
Ronaldo won
know.
in the World Cup.
I don't know what it is with Hugo, man, and people just like shitting on him.
It's because he plays for Spurs. It's because
Yeah.
he plays for Spurs,
It just
man.
makes no
Of
sense
course, it's because
because
he plays for Spurs. Because otherwise, he's a fucking World Cup winner with a France team that everybody jerks off to. You know,
The issue.
they
the
hype
issue as
every
well is-
other player in that France team. It wouldn't be this way for Hugo if he didn't play for Spurs.
I think the issue as well is it's this period when he tends to make some mistakes. People focus on those periods instead of the whole season. Like if you watch him
Yeah.
the whole season, he's actually been decent.
I'll say this: he's over the seasons, he's corrected a lot of the mistakes he used to make, man. Like
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't
agree.
make them as much as he used to. Like so far this season, I can only think of twice where he's really fucked it up, and that was the Wolves game and the City game. That
And today.
And today you had that.
He
millions
fucked it up
of-
Yeah,
today. He
that's
just didn't
true.
have to pay.
didn't
Yeah.
pay the
Look,
price. Yeah.
I think on the whole, Hugo is an above-average keeper. But if we're being honest, he's not a keeper that suits Antonio Conte.
No, he's not good at playing.
He can't play the ball.
Yeah,
He's not good at playing out the
Conte
back.
Conte needs at least a keeper who can be an average player on the ball. And
this
Hugo
is what-
below average.
To be fair, Andanovic didn't really play too well on the ball.
I think, but there's also you got them three very good center backs.
Yeah,
playing
Exactly,
against them
but
as well,
excellent
which
center
that's
makes-
what-
which makes it up.
That's what Conte really needs. He needs two other fucking ball-playing center backs.
We're being linked to center back,
Yeah,
actually.
I still the goalkeeper that we get to replace Hugo should be one that's comfortable playing out the back, which
I
is
agree,
why I've
but
said
there's no
Meslier
one-
is the perfect choice because
Especially
he's
today.
good at playing out the
Too
back.
small.
He's a
Too
good
small.
keeper. He's good
I
at
don't-
playing
I
out
don't
the
like
back.
him.
He's
I
so
don't like him.
comfortable with the ball at his feet.
I mean, me personally, I wanted Mike Maignan from AC Milan. Like before he went there, like I think he would have been a good option. But
Oh man, yeah, of course. Yeah,
But
of
in my
course.
opinion, he's too small of a
yeah,
goalkeeper.
you see,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what? He's way too small. I mean, he's good. He saves a lot of shots. He gets shot on a lot, but he's let in 62. You know what I mean? Even though he's got 99 saves, but he's just tiny. He looks like a 12-year-old.
I
He's
don't
6'4".
know. I don't think
The next
he,
keeper-
he's
the next-
he
about
is
his
tall.
build.
He's thin, but he's young. He's only like what 21, 22.
yeah, about that age.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
he'll make a
he
good
would-
backup
he
keeper or
can
starter keeper for somebody someday if he keeps
Yeah,
playing.
he can
First
fill
position.
out, but I really think like he could, he would be perfect. He's French for
Just
one.
saying,
so I think
Navis
all these things
is
make
gonna
it-
be on the free. Just saying.
Oh
Taylor
yeah, that's
Navas.
true.
Okay,
Taylor
yeah,
Navas
out
is pretty good.
Just sort of out
If
there.
he's
He's
on a
old too,
free,
though.
I would be happy about. What? I don't think he's. How old is he? Like,
he must be about his third. He must be in his 30s now.
33, 34.
yeah, he's 35. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
that's
not
probably a
ideal.
little too old.
What are your thoughts
I mean,
on
that-
Golini?
Oh, get rid.
we need to
Get
sell him
rid,
back
he's
to
awful.
Atalanta ASAP. They're upgraded as a goalkeeper at Atalanta right now, so no.
Well, if you've noticed, he hasn't even been on the bench because they don't want.
Oh, he's been
him to
injured.
play- Well, they also don't want him to play the number of games
Subs-
that would require us
Oh,
to
yeah,
purchase him. Because there's like, I think it's like 15, 16 games he has to play for, and then we
Start.
have to buy him. Is it start or just
Yeah.
play? Okay.
I think it's I mean, goalkeepers normally start. They usually don't come on. You know what I mean? So
Well,
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
some
sometimes,
emergency stuff.
Hugo's been injured before. Like, it could happen. In the Man City game, it looked. I don't know if he was probably just buying time.
I think
He-
I'd probably
he
rather
did
play
land
Brandon
hard.
Austin.
Yeah,
I'd rather
Exactly,
play
or-
Brandon Austin too. I really
Or
wish
recall,
we had
recall Alfie Whiteman.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
Just-
Yeah,
There is no
Man.
way in
Everything
hell,
you call.
under any circumstances, that I want to be executing the option on Golini. No way.
we should have kept
We messed-
Gazzaniga, man.
everybody
He
in the
Yeah, man.
summertime
We
was
messed
all
up
bigging
when we
him
saw
up,
Joe
though.
We
Who-
messed
how they
up
get
when we
him
bought
up?
Joe Hart. We messed up when we
Who?
bought Joe Hart.
Lots of
Yeah,
people were
we
bigging
should-
him up.
We should have kept Gazzaniga, man. We really
this
should
was
have.
this was my opinion from the beginning, but we could. I don't know why we
He
never
was-
wanted to keep him.
He was a solid backup keeper,
Listen,
And he-
I'm
there
not
were a
glad
few
we
games
replaced him
where-
with Joe Hart.
He
you have
saved
to
a few
understand
penalties
that
too.
Tottenham Hotspur are an exercise in mind control. When people are bigging up Pierluigi Golini, it's because number
They're just trying to
one,
convince themselves.
number
We're just trying to
one,
convince themselves.
absolutely, number
Yeah.
one, his name is
That's
fun to
what
say,
what?
and number
Golini.
two, we are
Lifting
so
lots of goalies.
starved of investment at this football club, like proper investment.
Why do we do that?
We
There's no point in
basically,
doing
as
that.
fans, we have been
Will,
conditioned and brainwashed
I
to
mean,
think that going
Will.
into each transfer window, we're not going to do anything. Which
Let me
means
tell you-
anytime we do something, Like bring in Golini.
It's exciting.
It's
Yeah. Well,
it's
let me
the
tell
What
you
was
this.
exciting about
well,
Hill, Galini, and Emerson?
Let me.
Nothing.
There were
It was-
signings. There were just signings. Let me explain
Except
you
for
this.
when we bought
Tottenham-
Kulusevski, because that was awesome.
Tottenham
Guti.
is a social experiment to see how their minds break. I got excited for Nuno Espirito Santos. Imagine that, bro. I got excited for that manager, bro.
I thought he was going to be a good stopgap manager.
I
Marcelo,
thought
how do you say Nuno?
Nuno.
That's
Nuno
the Brazilian
Espirito
well.
Santos. But listen, forget
Brazilian Portuguese.
Forget that. Forget how you say his name, bro. That manager shit show fest got me so deprived, and like, you guys remember that? Like, I was so deprived of like happiness that anything that's remotely somewhat positive became 100 times more like better. It's like when we win a football game. You know what I mean? Like, we're so used to like bottling and stuff like that when we actually go out there and we don't bottle, we're like, we're like, whoa, what is this excitement?
I remember
know?
us literally being on streams and just being like, I don't even care who it is at this point. I just want a fucking manager.
Yeah.
And that's just
Yeah.
pathetic that should ever happen to anybody, let alone a fans of a like top 6 Premier League club.
You know, with us as fans, we celebrate so much for wins. Imagine our fan base when we win a trophy.
All right, told you this. If we win,
I can't imagine.
If we win the FA Cup or something,
I'll
yeah, I'd same. I cried.
I started watching football in like 2006, and so I didn't really watch regularly when Spurs won in 2008, and it wasn't until like 2014, I guess, when I really started watching every match, and like started like when I bought this shirt and all that bull crap. But it's I can't imagine what it would be like to actually
I've never
win
been
a
alive.
trophy.
I've never been alive.
Let me explain you
That's why I
this.
won a trophy.
Let me explain you this. When we reached the Champions League final, I ran for 2 miles. Never ran like that since wrestling. I ran for 2 miles, and I sat at a pond, and I just looked at it for 2 hours. And then after 2 hours, it made me realize that we were in a Champions League final, and I didn't know what to do with my excitement. So I just went home. Now, I don't know what would happen if we ever win.
You're gonna run and jump into the pond.
If we win the Premier League, I might legitimately go into a cardiac arrest. I honestly would.
I was watching on my phone, and I was walking, and I remember the moment that Lucas goal went in, my knees just gave out. Like my legs just went weak, limp, and I fell on the ground and dropped my phone and was just screaming at the top of my lungs. Honestly, if anybody saw me, they probably thought I was having a serious mental health emergency.
The thing is, I'll say
pretty
this, lads.
crazy.
I'll say this. If we do ever win something, it will be the most Tottenham way that we will win it. Meaning, it's going to be painful, it's going to be a roller coaster ride, and it's not going to be easy, and we're going to suffer and enjoy it throughout the way. If we do win the Premier League, I guarantee you it will be an epic, epic moment.
It'll
But
come down to the last.
you say like in a
Marcelo,
final,
we're gonna win the FA Cup this year.
If we win the FA Cup this year, it's going to be like a dramatic last-minute second goal or something.
it's gonna be like
It's going to be scored by Kulusevski
this year. We're gonna win the FA Cup this year, and then we're not gonna. None of you on this panel will ever see a trophy lifted again.
Wow.
I just want to see a trophy, man. I just want to see a trophy.
We were close, man. A couple of times still. The Champions League final, I remember when we made it, my neighbors were actually checking on me if I was okay, because they thought I was fighting someone on the house, and like, nah, I'm just so excited. I need this feeling back.
Mr. Nick, we talked about that about an hour ago. Maybe 30 minutes ago, 35, 40 minutes ago. You have to rewind it.
I'll just say, man, like Like if we won a big trophy like a Premier League though, like that would be the greatest day of my life. Honestly, I don't even care.
When we made it to the Champions League final, that is the best day of my life.
Dude, I would have to go to England, honestly, if we did win the Premier League. I would have to go for the parade.
I'm
Just
so
see
disappointed
everybody.
in myself that I didn't go to that Champions League final. I know we lost anyways, but just being there, I'm disappointed. Yeah.
But like Ches said, man, you know, people keep
Worst
counting
Champions
us
League
out.
final I've ever watched.
But the thing is, Ches said, you know, like keep counting us out of these trophies. We still reach finals, man. We still get close. We still get to semifinals.
Yeah, but our finals are so boring, dude.
I know, but we're not that far yet, man. Like
We've even scored in the final yet.
I know, but people keep saying that, you know, we're far away from a trophy. We're not as far as people think, man. Not as far as people think. Keep the hope, lads. One of these days will be our day. I'm telling you, one of these seasons will have to be our season. It just has to be. There's no way we go through this much suffering and not one season be our season. And I'll tell you this, bro, when it does happen, when that season happens, Twitter will be on lockdown because I am going after every fan base. They will not hear me for the next 10 years. I don't care how much trophies Chelsea went after that. I don't care how many trophies Arsenal went after that. They will not hear it from me for the next 10 years, bro. Next 10 years. I will be absolutely insufferable, shameless, you name it, bro. Deluded, you name it. I will say we're the greatest club to ever exist. I will call Barcelona fans shit. I'll shit all
Just
over Real
spam
Madrid
pictures
fans.
of Conte and Harry Kane.
I would just spam pictures of us lifting trophy, like, you know, the Premier League. I will use that as my weapon for the next 10 years, bro.
I'm just gonna put up the Harry Kane tracker every time. That's all I'm gonna do.
You know how insufferable I am already. Well, imagine if you win a Premier League. Imagine I will be the most intolerable Tottenham fan the world will ever see. Believe me on that.
I wanted to call us champions of Europe if we win the Conference League. This is how bad. Like I would have been shameless with it.
Yeah, I would have said we won the USL. We won the USL, lads. You don't have to spell it out, you know.
Yeah.
We won the Audi Cup, guys.
I told everybody.
Audi Cup. My mom says you're right. She hopes you're right, Cody. So.
Oh, if we win the FA Cup this season, I'm treating it like a Premier League trophy. I don't care.
Yeah.
We could do it. I think
about
we could do it.
Us winning the FA Cup. That's what she was talking about.
As long as we don't.
No, you know why we could do it? Because the title race is wide open again.
Yeah, as long as we don't see Chelsea,
City,
bro.
Liverpool and City will both have their eye on that title race. Yes, as long as we don't draw Chelsea, I believe we can do it. Absolutely. Because I think we could beat Liverpool and or City in the FA Cup because they'll have one eye on the league. It makes sense as long as we don't play Chelsea.
Rico Z99. I wasn't in the Army. I was a signals intelligence analyst in the Air Force. And am I getting deployed? No, because I'm not in the Air Force anymore. The only way that I could get called up would be from the draft.
All right, I'm gonna eat this food. Love you guys, but I'm hungry. I'm starving. So come on, you Spurs. 3 points in the bag. Let's go beat Middlesbrough. Let's go win the fucking FA Cup. Let's win a fucking trophy this season. How about that, right? Come on.
Good deal, boys.
Hell
Good deal.
Come on, you Spurs.
All right. Love you guys.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you, Marcelo.
But yeah, my I've been eating can't drink any alcohol for 2 days. And I've been eating rice and tuna fish mixed together. Because I can't really open my mouth. It's been fun.
Oh,
That's the most I can open my mouth. That's it right now.
Well, I'm sorry you had this health crisis.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird, dude. Like,
you never know when it's gonna happen.
I never even knew. Like, the tooth didn't even hurt. It was hurting like wrong side, but it was hurting up in here in my temple. I just thought it was migraine. This pain wouldn't go away, and it's like taking showers because like the hot water on my head was like the only way the pain was like insufferable. Like I thought I was ready to dig my eye out with a spoon.
Note to self: pain means see a doctor.
Yeah. We're Americans. We don't go to the doctor when we're in pain.
Yeah, seriously.
We spray some Windex on it and suck it up. That's what we do.
Toothache, drop of whiskey will do it.
Yeah, you almost died because of that.
Well, no. Once my face went numb, I was like, "Now this is probably." Now, once my face went numb, I was like, "Now this is. I've either had a stroke or or something really bad." So, I thought I had a stroke first. Because half my face went numb.
Apparently, you're 57.
You did.
57 and 62 if you're somebody else, you know, so could have had a stroke. But
what's up, Mari?
Mari put in a super chat. Big up Mari Spurs channel. Mari's out getting drunk tonight. Big up panel. I'm out and about, but we must take it one game at a time. So no top four talk. Kane and Son duo kings. That is right, Mari.
So
Mari,
I
can't.
What Mari really means to say is that because we have Kane and Son duo kings, top four is all we should talk about.
I mean,
top
what's
four
what's the percentage?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you roll City's win, because we should have lost the City and we should have beat Burnley. So if you just flop those two, people probably wouldn't have been freaking out as much as they have, you know.
I mean, if you beat Arsenal, West Ham United, I mean, this turns it all around again. But will be though.
Yeah, whoopsie daisy! I forgot to super chat Doherty. He's Ireland's number 10. That's right, Aaron Dub with the Doherty love. You've been vindicated today. I've been saying start him over Emerson every chance we get. You see my?
I've been saying that as well. Honestly, that finish on that goal, that was a really nice finish. Like that was a striker's finish. I was really surprised.
Like 6
by
or
that.
7, 5 or 6. How many goals did he score for the Bulls that season? I can't remember. 5, 6.
Well, he should take some more shots then from like the corner of the box and stuff.
I
When
thought
he's
that
getting
was
in those
Kane.
positions. I don't know why.
The way he finished, I thought that was Kane.
I don't know about that, guys, but it was
the bowl cut comes rifling across my TV screen. It's like, oh man.
No, what's a good first ball by Sis as well.
Yeah, well, it was a good ball across.
Very good ball, yeah. And again, that was the also set up by the Winks play of him actually.
I tried to look.
What a midfielder
FB ref doesn't have SCA stats up yet. It normally takes them a day or two to get the other the SCA stats out there. Sometimes they never come out there. So
I can't believe Doherty was like making those runs. Like, I wonder what got in. Like, I don't know what Conte said to him or what, but he's never had that kind of bravery in any game that he's played for Spurs to just freaking go for it.
He probably told him his lead just run, and then he just took advantage of a bad defense. I appreciate it. At least he did it though.
Well, you know, I think it really helps too to have Doherty sandwiched in between Kulu and Romero, because Kulusevski, you know, has shown that he's very competent defensively and works very hard defensively, and then Romero's just fucking Romero. So, you know, to have him in between those, that means he can, you know, get forward on the overlap, and even if he can't get back in time, you know, he's got a competent winger there who can support Romero defensively.
Yeah,
so you know, it definitely gives him a lot more coverage to get forward.
Yeah, Jez, what time zone are you in?
I'm in England right now. So it's 3:50 a.m.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard you
Yeah,
on some spaces before, right? You
Well,
like
yeah, I'm
to-
in spaces, the Jocko spaces, and that, like, to speak when after the Spurs games or even before them, just the previous.
Yeah, no,
Okay, welcome to the show.
recognize your voice, recognize your thoughts, you know.
Yeah, I see you sometimes on the listeners as well, and I saw that one tweet on top of the space. I kind of I was laughing, but I muted myself. Like, it was a good one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually, this actually puts a good time because I'll probably go about to sleep because it's nearly 4 a.m. So it was nice talking to you guys, and thank you for bringing it up as well.
Hey, anytime, man. Anytime you want to come on, you're welcome to do so. We do these shows after every match around that same time. 1 a.m. is usually when it starts. So, in the UK. So we're primarily a North American channel, but we do some stuff during the daytime sometimes. But if you got anything else you'd like to promote, people want to follow you on Twitter, tell people where they can find you.
No, it's just cool. Just saying, happy with the performance today. Got the 3 points. Tuesday is coming up next, and then hopefully we can do a number on Fed Frank as well. So up to Spurs. Come on, Spurs.
Yeah.
Spurs, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on.
Nice meeting you.
Let's go.
Thanks for coming on.
Big
Thanks,
up,
Jess.
guys. Big up.
Big up.
And then there were 4. What do you guys think?
Well, I've got a question for you guys. What do you guys think? What do you guys make of the Tottenham get battered everywhere they go chance? I think
I like
fantastic.
that the away fans are starting to sing it when we're winning away.
Was that us
That's
today that was
pretty
singing
cool.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
it
do you
was
think
us.
singing it down.
It's like what we did with the Y word, that we took the power away from it. We're taking the power away from it, and ever since, I mean, Burnley didn't sing it, and I think it's fun, and it's just beautiful. Tottenham fans, what they're doing. I love our fan base.
Burnley
It's just
didn't sing it.
They didn't sing
Burnley didn't sing it. Okay, so Burnley didn't sing it, but Burnley beat us, which means Arsenal sang it, West Ham sang it, Chelsea sang it.
yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to be a successful operation here to appropriate Tottenham get battered, because all it's going to end up happening is that's going to get sung everywhere that we play. Every single week that we play, it gets sung. So is it a song that you think builds the team up or tears it down? I don't know. I don't trust us to reclaim.
I don't know. I
decide
feel
to
like
reclaim it.
it's almost ironic when we sing it, and it's funny. And I feel like it fits with the Tottenham fans' attitude. I mean, we're fickle fans, and we complain about our club all the time. So, like, to sing that like when we're winning, as well as have it sung at us when we're bad, I don't know. There's something oddly fitting about it, I think.
This is small club behavior to take a chant that someone else is using and try and obtain. Norwich is a perfect example. They just sing. It doesn't matter where they go. The fans that are traveling just sing Norwich get battered wherever they go, even before the kickoff. So yeah, have they appropriated the song? Yes. Is it any less embarrassing? No, they're still Norwich, right? So
There's
before
Cody, there's
kickoff,
literally a
something
popular
else.
football song that a lot of teams across the English pyramid sing. That's literally just "We're fucking shit, we're fucking
Yeah.
shit."
Yes, I know.
So, like, I don't
Or
know.
you're
That's what
you.
we're discussing.
Also, self-deprecation is a big is a cornerstone of British humor, isn't it? So, like, I don't know. I feel like it all
Let's
kind of fits
pretend.
together.
Let's pretend. Let's pretend we scored
we
a
scored a
goal.
goal. Yay!
We need more left-footed players like Kulu is what Cold Shot. I mean, left-footed is fine.
Just need another left-footed center back, really.
Yeah, left-footed center back is one that we could use.
What's been
Not
your
so much
favorite
wingers,
nickname so far for Kulu?
What other nicknames does he have?
Decky.
Decky.
That's what most people apparently like. If your name is Dayon, like
That's like a
the
nickname for that.
Decky is the Bob to the Robert, of that, basically. So I guess
sexy.
The Bill to the
cool and
William.
sexy.
People always ask me when I see my name's William, it's like, is your name Bill? I'm like, no, that's my dad's name.
You don't look like a Bill to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I always people ask me, why'd you change? Why? Because my dad, I went by Billy as a kid.
You could also be Bob though, because Bobs are Williams, aren't they? As well as
Roberts.
Roberts.
No, Bob's Roberts.
I think so. I don't know. I thought some Williams go by Bob too. I don't know. Is Bill? I guess it's just Will, Bill, Billy. Yeah.
Willie, Billy, Bill.
Oh yeah, and Willie.
Liam is another one. So Liam is short for William. It's the last Liam with Liam.
Aaron Dove, self-insults is Irish humor imported to UK. Fair enough, Aaron.
And then, I just changed it to Will because, I didn't like names that you could accidentally belch. No, Bill.
Yes, Jeffrey. Tottenham fans saying Tottenham get battered everywhere they go.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
I mean, why would you have a team saying Tottenham would get battered everywhere they go when they're losing to Tottenham? That would make no sense.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I think it's also kind of mocking, especially when we're winning away. Now, I wouldn't sing that at our ground, but when you're away and you're winning away, and the opposition fans have already sang that at you, like for you to then start singing it back at them is like a mocking thing, right? Like say the Leeds fans were probably singing that shit at kickoff, and then in 30 minutes they're 3-0 down, and then the Tottenham fans are mockingly
Leeds
singing.
fans shouldn't be singing anything except
yeah.
We need help. We need help. We need help. That's the only thing.
Leicester did it, and that before the 2 goals Steven Bergwijn scored, that was the perfect time to sing it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wish the atmosphere in the stadium, in our stadium, could be as good. The support could be as good as it is away, because our away support is some of the best in the league. I think.
Whenever we play City, it's buzzing.
It's just at home, it just can get so toxic so quickly if things don't go well. So.
Yeah.
And then other times it's like it is like watching a City game. It sometimes, I've been watching a game and it's not even, we're not even losing, but it still sounds like a library in there. It's.
What does Bud Light seltzer taste like?
Mango.
The seltzers don't even taste like mango. They just taste like soda water to me. With like a hinge
What
of
makes it Bud Light though?
Yeah, why not
if it's just mango seltzer, how is it all related to Bud Light?
They're just using the name. Anheuser-Busch makes it. It's just using the Bud Light popularity.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. It's not like there's nothing about it that's remotely.
Buy White Claws. They're more popular. I don't know which tastes better though. I've drinking some White Claws sometimes. I just don't like White Claws. I don't like the taste. These are good though.
Oh shit! Skies. I thought you were gonna show us the opioids.
No.
Painkillers that you give him at the doctor. Just holds up his bottle of Oxys.
They're good.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave me Hydro, not Oxy. I'm getting sleepy, fellas. I've slept the last. Let's see. I got home because I hadn't slept for 2 days because the medication I was taking before the over-the-counter stuff would only make the pain go away for like an hour. So I'd sleep for like an hour, wake up for 2 hours, 3 hours, wait so I could take the medicine again. Then take the medicine again, go sleep for another hour. So I literally did that. Like that's how I lived for 2 days. and then got back from the doctor, slept yesterday until like 7 or 8. Went to sleep again around 10. Didn't wake up until like 6:30. Watched the game. Went to sleep after the game. Didn't wake up till like 6 p.m. Getting caught up on that sleep, and I'm sure the steroids and antibiotics are helping with that.
Ooh, here's some. We didn't even talk about this, but this is interesting. As a North American channel, I feel like we should say Leeds are looking to replace Bielsa with Jesse Marsh.
Yeah, I just saw that. What is that?
He's a U.S. coach. He used to
just
RB Leipzig or something like that.
It was Salzburg and then Leipzig.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Another U.S. manager in the Premier League.
In the Premier League, yeah, that would be.
It's happened before, but what's his name? Managed like Fulham or Watford or one of those.
And it's actually a logical transition from coaches too, because Jesse Marsh plays a very high pressing, attacking style of football.
Well, there you go. He's not to sit back and do your thing, but
no. His
only problem is if he does bad, he's gonna get a lot of crap though.
His entire game is based on. It's very German inspired. Obviously, it makes sense that he coached for the RB setup, and it's all about pressing and
Bob
counter
Bradley,
pressing.
David. Yes, thank you.
Yep. No possession, just pressing and counter pressing.
Ted Lasso too. Yeah.
Ted Lasso. Yeah. Oh man, when's
I
the
think
next
Ted
season
Lasso
of that?
ever? The second season just came out not too long ago.
Yeah, I watched it.
The third season.
I just finished watching
probably
it.
won't come out till later this year. Like fall.
I feel like it was a while ago that the
it's like
second season
October.
came out.
I know, but
Yeah,
I don't have
that's a
Apple
long
TV
time.
until a little while ago.
No, bro, it's like February, man.
Yeah, I'm impatient. I do love that show. I really do. And he got to start. He got to start with Tottenham. It was like an NBC spot shot at the Tottenham training ground. So
yeah,
that's where the character was created. Yeah. And then they beat in the show. They beat Tottenham in the FA Cup, and I was like, "Wow, this is very realistic."
And then they lost to City like 5-0.
Yeah,
They lost like
Tottenham
City 5-0
would
in
get
the semifinal.
beat to a team that had just gotten relegated the year before, and then that makes a lot of sense. Sam Allardyce will be next manager for Leeds. I don't know. I feel like after he failed to keep West Brom up, I feel like teams are like, do we really want to go the Big Sam route again? I mean, and it is awful. His football is fucking awful to watch. So I don't know if. I think the Big Sam thing is probably starting to die out. Call Big Sam, he'll save you from relegation. I don't know if we'll see him continue to get these 6-month jobs like he usually does.
Well, he's gonna die. He's an old guy, the Sam Allardyce way of thinking is dying.
Yeah.
He survived a long time and remained relevant in the Premier League for a very long time with his Route 1 football that just kind of keeps you up. Sam Allardyce deserves a lot of respect. That name gets tossed around a lot. Anytime someone's going to fire their manager, they're just like, just bring in Big Sam to save us.
Yeah.
But you know what? Big Sam has a track record of saving football clubs from relegation.
Yeah.
Not only just got broken last year, really.
Yeah.
I do want to agree with you guys, and I do want to give some shout outs to some people. If just because I like being a little bit of a twat sometimes. If you're gonna quote Twitter statistical sources, Statman Dave is the only person that you should go to. Just saying. Yeah, don't go to other people who post garbage without sources.
No. Yeah, always try to have some kind of like respectable source for your stats. You know,
Exactly.
Statman Dave or one of the analytics companies like Opta. You know,
Are we talking about tackles or are we talking about
We're talking about
duels?
tackles and duels, and Mozo football with no sources. That's what we're talking about. So Mozo football is a football site that puts out these off the wall statistics that are like blatantly wrong. Like you can't find the data anywhere, and they leave no sources. And Spurs fans lately have been catching on to these things and putting out these narratives that like Premier Højbjerg scored 37 goals in the game against Manchester City, and it's like, what? No, he didn't. So be wary of Mozo football.
yeah, Aaron's right. Trust young Matty Hayes. Yeah, Matty
Matt
works for
Hayes.
Opta, so you can trust him. He does the work. He watches the games, records the stats. Like, so
You saw his recent tweet actually. That every game he hasn't watched this season, we've won.
that's
So
funny.
maybe-
Stop watching.
Maybe he should just stop watching.
Yeah,
That's what I want
yeah.
before saying.
Yep. But I'm just saying, be wary of who you trust. You can trust me. I may make a typo here and then, but most of the time I've double checked my sources, which is FBref, SofaScore, and what's that one called? You know what stat? Understat.com. Oh, and apparently whoscored.com is world renowned. And that's a good one too, I guess. Who Scored is very doesn't have a whole lot of information. It's just basic. It's almost like the Premier League website. It's pretty basic. But that's where I go to get all of my data. FBref. FBref is probably the most inclusive. You can get pretty much everything. SofaScore is quicker and easy. They have an app. I wish FBref would come out with an app. But
I'm probably gonna miss the game against Middlesbrough
why is that?
because I'm gonna be at school at that time, which sucks.
Yeah. Does
Yeah,
suck.
I'll actually be able to see that one. I didn't get to watch today's game live, so I'll actually be able to watch the Middlesbrough.
You can
game
watch it
live.
live. You gotta get up 7:30 in the morning, man.
I woke
Yeah,
up at 5
I
in the
just-
morning.
Yeah, and I was
woke up
working
at
late
5
last
in the
night.
morning.
I was working late last night, so there was no way I was going to be able to get up for that.
I had already planned that I was gonna wake up super early so I could get on like Dave's pre-match pump up, and
Yeah.
I could eat breakfast before that and everything, and like not be dead tired when I wake up. So I woke up like at 5:30 in the morning. And the
Dang.
thing with me is sometimes I wake up and I just like get out of bed, I stretch, and then I just go back in bed and I'm like, I'm gonna stay in bed for like 15 minutes, and then I close my eyes and they never open again. And then I
March
just end up
1st. That's Monday, isn't it? Tuesday.
yeah, it's Tuesday. We played Tuesday.
I think I've. No, that's the week after that.
They're
What do I got going on Tuesday?
slating you in the comments, Will,
Oh, for what?
for mispronouncing Norwich.
Yeah, but I don't mispronounce it. I'm not British. Just because I don't pronounce it a British way doesn't mean I'm mispronouncing it. I'm just not saying it British.
Yeah,
British
because we
way.
also have a Norwich in the U.S. where we pronounce the W,
Yes,
and
it's Norwich.
there's a place in the U.S. called Norwich. It's in like Vermont or something.
Yeah, and then you have Greenwich, which we don't pronounce the W, but it is spelled Greenwich.
Which is how they pronounce it. Yeah.
Greenwich Village. And there's actually a city called Greenwich in the Northeast as well. Actually, we have New London. We have all those cities up there that are named after British stuff. In New England, there's Chelsea. There's all kinds of stuff. There's like Chelsea Market in New York. There's I don't think there's any Tottenham stuff. Actually, we had a Tottenham Street about 2 blocks down from my old house in Virginia, in Lynchburg, Virginia. That was kind of cool. My mom lives a couple blocks away from Arsenal Street. She was looking at houses. I said, "You can't buy a house on Arsenal Street, Mom. You know that, right?" And then we don't play Everton again. We got 7 days off till Everton on the 7th.
I don't know how I've developed an English accent.
I'm talking to all these British people, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, but
And
I've
listening to all the content and just there's a lot of.
I think it's mainly on the commentary that I watch.
Yeah.
You don't really have a British accent, though. You have an American accent.
Yeah, but it's not as American as most people.
I don't know. Some of the way vowel sounds are a little different. You know, this is actually a real phenomenon, though, with like a lot of kids who grow up watching YouTube. They're finding that the way they speak is a lot like the YouTube content creators they watch. Many of those people are based in California, so you have all these like teenage girls now who all sound like, you know, they're from from California when. You know, it's because of who they're watching on YouTube. It's like who they're hearing talk. It's interesting. I don't know.
Thanks, buddy. We love having you too. Yeah, and everybody's always welcome on the show. But I think we're gonna call it a night for me, friends and families. I'm hanging in there. Mr. Cody Mack.
All right.
Tell people where they can find you. At Comac do. We need to get Cody a light. You just need one light, Cody, on your desk.
No, I don't.
Oh, you do.
Why? Why do I need a light?
Send me your address. I'll post you one. I got like 3 of them laying around. I'm not even using. I'll send you one.
You'll get my post address when when Kane scores more goals than Son this year. You'll have to send me something. So,
all right. When he scores more goals than Son this year, I can't remember what about. Oh, the sweatshirts. Yeah.
You'll get my address then. But no, everybody like and subscribe. It's been a pleasure entertaining you.
Yeah, man. And Mr. Dan THFC, tell people where they can find you. I see you've been just streaming again lately, so.
Yeah, I've got my channel, Dan THFC, right there. And on Twitter today, actually, I broke 1,000 followers. So
it's just for you, John.
Happy for that. But yeah, you could most of the time I'm gonna be on Dan THFC YouTube channel, but I'm all over the place most of the time as well.
Good deal. And Kieran is with us as well. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you,
sir. Any plans to get your channel back up and rocking, or
Spurs After Dark?
Yeah, maybe eventually. I don't know. I mean, you guys will find out.
Work than people think, isn't it?
It's just a time. It's mostly a time thing for me. Yeah. You know, it's just I don't have a lot of time for it at the moment, but that may change. And if you guys keep watching this channel, I'll be here. And so if that ever does change, you will know. And I'm also available. I am available to come on other people's channels as well. If you want me on, just send me a message, and like maybe if I can work it out, I'd love to come on. I've been on Tottenham Gold. And I've called in to a few of the other fan channels as well when they do their like viewer call-ins. But yeah, you can find me at Spurs After Dark on Twitter, and you can see me rant and argue with people just like these 2 guys above me do. So yeah,
sounds good, man.
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs! And last public service announcement for everybody out there. Dental insurance is cheap. A lot of people don't go to the dentist unless they have a problem. You do get a free checkup with most insurance plans. Get yourself x-rayed in the face before you die from something stupid like a cyst under your teeth that you didn't even know existed. Do that, and then maybe half your face won't get paralyzed. Hopefully the feeling in my face comes back. The doctors are hopeful that it will. Otherwise, I'll have a crooked smile for the rest of my life, but that's okay.
No, you'll be better looking.
Be better looking. I'll always have this nasty snarl all the time. I can't even move my mouth to that side right now.
Nothing will have changed.
You got to let your accent out. If it happens, you got to let your accent
I'm
out.
like comfortable. Get them on down here. Stay strong. Stay Spurs. We'll see you next time.